Sorry.
Again, so just because you disagree with the
Well,
premise of the
who's the congressman?
question,
I don't know. That's my answer.
Bernie Sanders.
Okay, Bernie Sanders. What does that have anything to do with Trump?
Is he a
sucking and
Republican?
Kamala sucking? That was the last election. Bernie Sanders did not win. You guys didn't vote him in.
But you said
I would have loved if you
you're
guys
the one
voted
who
in
said
Bernie Sanders. I would have loved it.
You're the one who said, yeah, you can't vote for Trump and also say you voted for Bernie Sanders.
I would love if you guys
you're the
voted
one
Bernie
who
Sanders
said,
in. You guys fucking voted.
You are the one who
Biden
said.
in.
You are the one who said that Republicans are good for houselessness, right? And there's only one person ever to sit in Congress that has effectively ended veteran homelessness in their state. And yeah, it's Vermont.
And you guys didn't vote
Bernie
him in during the
Sanders.
Democratic election. So I don't know
policies-
what we're trying to prove here.
Democratic
Like-
policies eliminate homelessness, not Republican ones.
Yeah,
Democratic
that's what the point we
policies
were trying
have
to
brought
make.
more drugs into our country, which has increased homelessness, actually.
False.
So low information. But I'm going to drop so you and Felice can take it away. Nice to see you, Felice. Thanks, Pickles. I'll see you later.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about, Felice?
Felice is my co-host.
I just want to say, you saying Trump sucks, you spreading hate and hating on the other side, calling people idiots, that does nothing for our country. You're just causing more of a divide. You're causing more people to be angry at each other.
You can't sell me on this. This is what Trump does. This is what you guys have championed. You guys have championed the guy
So you're
who
going to
does
fight
this.
fire with fire and make things worse
Of
for
course.
yourself and everybody else?
Dude,
That's stupid. You realize
Trump
that's
sucks,
stupid, right?
Trump sucks is probably the least inflammatory background I've seen on a debate ever.
I know, but you ridicule people who have a different opinion than you.
That's not true.
But
Have
would
you
you
watched my
ridicule
live
someone
before?
who's a Muslim? Is that what
have you
your
watched my
character
live
shows
before?
about yourself?
Have you watched
would
my live
ridicule
before?
someone who believes something different than you?
Have you watched my live before?
This is my first time, so maybe you're not as bad as most of the people like that I've seen that hate Trump. But all I'm saying, man, is you're pushing a rhetoric that is causing more divide, causing more problems for American people. And you don't want to fix anything. You don't want to actually like work together and make things better.
It's not
you
true.
want to bring us down, and you want to fucking like spread hate and spread rage. And like this is exactly what you're doing.
I want to
Listen,
prove this
you
to
have to stop talking.
Yeah,
You've talked the entire time. And your theory is if I never stop talking, nobody can inform me that I'm incorrect. You have said a literal stream of things since I logged on here that have been completely incorrect. And
Okay,
it's
tell
like,
me.
hey, if I don't breathe, maybe no one will point out that I'm wrong. That does not make you right.
All right. So here's what what I say when this is my argument on how Trump is causing a divide, and then you can tell me how Kamala or the Democrat Party is causing a divide. Okay. Here's going to be my pitch. Trump constantly lies about the problems we're having in this country. One of the lies would be like women are having abortions 2 weeks after birth. Do you think that's true?
2 weeks after, I don't think that's true. Also, I don't think he said that.
He did. He said it multiple times. And this is the thing. On the left, we say, that's a lie. And on the right, if you believe this, you say Democrat women are demons. You're demonizing women. Like we're literally committing infanticide
Well, that's
over here.
false.
Infanticide.
Most Republicans I know support abortion. So this abortion thing you have against people, against a small minority.
Calm down. Hold on. You're doing it again, though. You're doing it again. You have to let somebody else develop a line of logic. You don't win in debate by speaking over everyone. Just calm down and breathe and let him speak.
I don't want to
let
debate.
him speak.
I don't want to debate abortion.
Let him speak.
I don't want to debate abortion right now. What I want to debate is rhetoric, and this is what Trump does. So if you there is no middle. It's either you think and know that this is a lie, or you think that we are just horrible people. What's the middle here?
I don't think you're horrible people. I think you guys are just misinformed and uneducated. That's what I think.
I beg to differ, man.
Someone up here is uneducated. That's true. One of three of us is uneducated and thinks if you never stop talking, that nobody will prove you wrong. Stop speaking and let somebody teach you something.
I'm trying to learn. You guys haven't taught me anything except that you guys push hate.
You're
and a rhetoric
speaking
that-
again. You're speaking again. You're speaking
All right,
again.
just you
Please
tell me
my
be
turn.
quiet.
what's the most divisive thing that Democrats do?
They pushed Black Lives Matter onto everybody, which caused so many riots and people from both sides, white people and black people, to have like this fucking hate against each other. And you fucking caught you
The
guys
Gish
supported this
Galloping.
whole
He has
fucking
been on
movement.
53 topics, and I've been on this live for 5 minutes. He's literally, the Gish Galloping is unreal. You have to stop. You just skipping from topic
Okay,
to topic.
make a point, Felice. You have a lot to say, except you haven't made a single point. So make a point.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Which
Why
one
does
of your
Trump suck? Why do
hundreds
you
of
think Trump
points do you
sucks?
want to talk about? Which one of your hundreds of points do you want to talk about?
Why does Trump suck, Felice? You keep talking.
I didn't
but
say.
you have
I never
no
said
point.
that. I didn't say that.
You were on a live. You're co-hosting. a
Again,
fucking
I
TikTok
never
live
said
saying
that.
Trump sucks.
I never said that.
Oh my god.
Listen, the BLM thing, it would be one thing if our sitting president was going, look how many cops are unaliving people of color at alarming rates. So you should do something. You should go out there. They are doing this to you, and you should go out there and do something peacefully. But you should go do that. Are you saying that we did that? Or did Trump do that?
I'm saying the Democratic states did that. All the Democratic states did that.
So
all the Republican
like
states
the
were
people-
fine. People weren't rioting in Republican states; they were rioting in
Most of
Democratic
the violence
states.
that
You guys
came out
caused
of
divide.
most of the violence that came out. So
That's
like
absolutely wrong. Have you ever heard of Georgia?
Yeah,
Like, or
in
you're
Georgia
joking,
and in
right?
Minnesota,
Do you not
it was-
understand which states are red and which
Yeah,
states
so,
are blue,
like
sir?
Minnesota-
That's
Okay,
another
what about
thing you said that was
Washington? What about
incorrect,
California?
sir.
What about
You said
Oregon?
another thing that
What are
was
you talking
painfully
about?
incorrect. Have you ever heard of
93%
One
Georgia?
state compared to fucking
93%
like,
of them were peaceful. And then the other ones that weren't peaceful were crimes led by people like the Boogaloo Boys, who are a white supremacist right-wing group, and other groups like Patriot Front and the Proud Boys.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are FBI reports on this that you can read that talk about that.
Okay, I'd love to read them. Where can I find these FBI
I encourage
reports?
you to do a lot of reading.
Where could I find these FBI reports with Felice? That's all
You're
I'm
joking,
asking.
right? Do you understand the DOJ website? Or you're kidding?
I'm not
right?
fucking looking through the DOJ website for reports.
I know,
that aren't real.
education. Yeah, typing,
That
going
you're
to
fucking
websites
making
and
up out
looking
of
them
your-
up. Well,
Here you go,
Pickles
here you
will
go.
look them up for you since it's too
Oh,
difficult
Business
for you.
Insider. Oh, what a fucking great source, guys.
Okay, but
A literal
And then he starts
fucking-
discrediting.
yeah, go ahead and
sources.
start
This
muddying
is
the waters
embarrassing.
as soon as you can. But we can look this up on multiple sources or multiple sites. This is who was found to have done this crime. It's a matter of public record.
Okay, when is this article from?
You can look it up on multiple sites. If
2020.
you did research into what we were talking about, it's not just on one site.
The thing is, I didn't need to research what you guys are talking about. I don't need to research anything because you guys are just on TikTok
Yeah,
Live.
to be
Nothing
not
better to do,
painfully
spreading
wrong, you would
hate
need to
and
do
spreading-
research.
making
You would
a
need to
divide
do
between
research to
people.
not be wrong. Yeah, you
I'm not
would.
wrong. You guys
You're
are spreading
painfully
hate
wrong
and
about every
spreading
single
a
thing
divi-
you've said.
Felice, you want a divide between people. That's why you guys are
No,
on here
you're
saying
just
Trump
yelling
sucks
things.
because you
I have
can't-
never said anything. You're just accusing me of things.
Dude, you guys are chanting mass deportation, ripping families apart.
Okay, well, if fucking millions of people are flooding over the border, yeah, we need to deport them.
Sure.
They're
You don't
not.
have a fucking country. You
They're not.
don't have a country without borders.
Yeah.
They're not. Okay, so let me correct you on this. Let me help you out with this. So the height of
Are you guys
encounter.
immigrants? I have a
no,
question
okay.
for you. Are you guys
are you
immigrants?
are you
I
are
am,
you going to
and I can
interrupt
say
me?
whatever I
Are
want
you
about
going to
immigrants.
interrupt me? I'm going to help you with data. You want a teaching moment from me. You asked me to say something. Here I go. Okay. The height of encounters at the U.S. border was December 2023. The 7-day rolling average was about 8,500, right? That's the height of them. Okay. And we are in December 2024, 1 year later, right? Encounters at the U.S. border are down 75%. Now, if you understand crime data and crime statistics and statistical correlations, we can never reduce instances of crime to zero. But when we see statistical correlations in crime, then we use funding and resources to reduce, right, the instance, the statistical correlations, and the occurrences of crime.
So
And to
7,000
in one
people
year
removed by bus
to reduce
instead is what you're saying.
the encounters at the border by 75% is, if you understand statistics, is an unbelievable success. And not only did we do it in 1 year, we did it without funding and without additional resources because Trump killed the bipartisan border bill. That's all because, you know what? It turns out if you create an app and tell people to make an appointment, they'll make an appointment and get in line.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the weirdest
that's the real
thing.
solution. Make an app. That's what helps everybody, right?
It did.
It
She just
did.
told you how.
It did.
You do realize that
No,
these numbers you're throwing
please.
out
I do.
aren't
I
from a
realize
credited
what's
source.
going
You're
on at
just
the border.
throwing out
I've
numbers
done the
here.
research. I've read the data studies. You have no idea. You're just
Okay,
like
where-
they're
from
pouring over the
where?
border. They're pouring over the border. If you
From
knew,
where? Where are the data studies from?
again? Oh, I'll tell you. Thank you
DHS.
for asking, D. I would love to share that with you. The two main countries that people come from are Cuba and Venezuela. And do you know why? Do you understand the root causes of immigration? It has to do with what? Economic sanctions placed on countries by the U.S. We turn off countries' economy, and what is the number one driver of crime? Poverty.
Okay, well,
Right?
first off, it
I'm
is
not done talking. You've
crazy.
interrupted. You've overtalked people the entire time. Now it's my time. It's my time. You asked me to speak and teach you something. Now it's learning time. So be quiet, please. I'm being super nice. So
Okay, I
again,
will
what we know
rebuttal
is the
this,
number one driver of crime is poverty. So when we turn off countries' economies that are already third world countries that we've devalued their currency to the point of being worth nothing, and then we sanction them, crime in those countries goes up. Right? And then people have to flee them. And when there is a land bridge between those countries, right, and America, they show up where? The southern border. And do you know what Trump did in Venezuela and why they showed up at the southern border? He not only slapped economic sanctions on them, he did a coup, a failed coup.
Because
He
Venezuela
drove
was
that
run by
country
gangsters.
into so much poverty that crime rose to a point never before seen. People spilled over into other South American countries, right? It was a literal smorgasbord of crime and poverty. And then people said, hey, those people, and you're talking to someone who lived in South America, in many of these countries. And I can tell you, they're not very happy with the US, but they can correctly identify who put them in the situation they're in. And then they said, hey, I have children. If I stay here, I am sure that my children will unalive. They have no chance of survival. We might die on the way there, but I am going to risk it. And
Okay,
I don't know about you, and I can tell you don't understand the U.S. economy, because that will be part 2 of this lesson, is how immigration is actually supplementing the U.S. economy. A report just came out about
Legal.
it. That we
Legal
would actually
immigration.
Both.
You're talking again.
Legal immigration.
Both.
Nope, not legal immigration. But bless your heart, if you would be quiet and be taught something, you would know that.
I do know that.
Our economy is supplemented and is propped up by undocumented labor. And a report came out 2 days ago about what will happen to our economy if that labor is removed. And I can tell you, it's about double the recession of the Great Depression.
And read this on the screen right here. Undocumented immigrants' tax contributions as of 2022 show 96.7 billion that year. It's a lot of money.
Okay, this is a Google fucking search. Like, I don't know anything about Maryland Matters. I don't know if it's
This is
a
okay.
trusted
It's from
source.
ITEP as well. Do you trust the fucking Institute of Tax and Economic Policy?
Sure.
It's right there.
But you're throwing out numbers there. What about the fucking constant damages and crimes they cause?
Hey, we're doing
don't.
math. Let's
They
pull
don't.
up the study, though. Why don't we pull up the study? Because we have
because
a
most
very...
of illegal migrants coming through are criminals.
let's talk about it.
Pull up, the
Let's-
study is called, pull up the study. Mass deportations would deliver a catastrophic blow to the U.S. economy. It's a bipartisan joint study that came out 2 days ago. And we can just read you the highlights of the shit show that we are in for. And that's not including what it's going to do to devastate our Social Security, but we'll just talk about what it will do to prices of goods. And we'll talk about how it will drive our economy into a recession. Would you like me to read the highlights of that for you? Of the nightmare that awaits Americans? Sure. Let me do
Wait,
it.
is this it?
Here we go. No, no, that's
got
not
it?
it.
Okay, go ahead.
Here, I'll text it to you, but I have it open. Here, I'll read it to you.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Okay, hold on. I want to get, so here we go. Depending on how many immigrants are deported, these mass deportations would reduce real gross domestic product, right? The gross domestic product, we're number one in the world right now, by as much as 7.4% by 2028. Just to give you an idea, the recession, the Great Depression, it was a 4.3% reduction. So we're looking at 7.4, right? Reduce the supply of workers for key industries, including by up to 225,000 workers in agriculture and 1.5 million workers in construction. Push prices up 9.5% higher by 2028. Do you understand what 9.1% higher is? Do you understand inflation?
Do you understand something, Felice? Can I say something?
Yes, believe
Do you
me.
understand
And
that
I'm
most of the
trying to
people
help
on the
you,
streets
sir.
dying right now are American citizens, not fucking illegal migrants?
Okay, please stay
understand that more
on the line of
jobs would
logic.
actually
Hey, do you
help
want,
those
let me
people on the
answer
streets
that. Do you,
dying
hey,
every day?
listen, I know you think you did something there, so let me respond
I
to
did
you.
do something there.
Okay, let me respond to you so you don't embarrass yourself like that again the next time you show up in a live. So the answer to that is if we're talking about math, right? And if this happens, those Americans on the streets that you're acting like you care about, life will get exponentially worse for them as well. This is what will happen to every American citizen, everyone.
Okay.
Anyways, I can continue if you want. Estimates from the
I'd love
Peterson
it.
Institute for International Economics show that if 8.3 million, by the way, shout out to the Peterson Institute for International Economics, like as a sapiosexual, I highly recommend. 8.3 million and imagine Trump's saying up to 21 million. Real estimates, because Trump's just a liar, but real estimates are that there's probably 13.5 in the US, right? But let's say if we just deport 8.3 million undocumented immigrants, GDP would lower by 7.4%. Employment would lower by 7% by 2028. This would be a 7.4% reduction in GDP over 4 years, which would likely mean that the US economy would not grow at all during President Trump's second term. Even if 1.3 million undocumented immigrants are deported, gross domestic product will drop by 1.2% and employment will drop by 1.1%.
And remember, the Great
This is
Depression was
devastating.
only 4%.
All right. So I still don't understand why you guys support illegal migration. I
believe you don't understand. I believe that.
So
It
we
doesn't
just
make
listed
sense
off
to me.
all
Okay,
of these
you're saying
economic
it props
indicators.
up our economy. So why can't we do it legally? Why can't we do it with due
Well,
process?
I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. We should do it legally. That's
why
the
no?
point.
Why is
Okay,
Trump the only
can
one
I
who supports
this
can I
the
answer
solution,
now?
though?
Can I answer that question? Can I answer that question? Because right now we're just talking about removing people from our economy and how that will crash it. Right? If this labor leaves our economy, not only will we'll go into a recession, but prices will skyrocket. Both things happen simultaneously. That's not even accounting for the cost of the deportation, which is literally, and I'm not joking around, estimated between $60 billion and $500 billion. That's
Okay, how much
in
money have we
addition.
sent to
Hold on,
Ukraine
I'm not
to
done.
kill
I'm
Russian
not done.
kids?
I'm not
40
done.
billion.
I'm not done. I am not finished, darling. I'm not finished answering your question. I'm helping. This is a free education. You're welcome. So,
thank you.
anyways,
Thank you.
in
I
yeah. So,
appreciate
in
that.
addition,
I'm
right,
here to learn.
we can't afford the cost of the mass deportation. But in addition to that, do you understand what undocumented immigrants are doing for you? They are paying into Social Security and Medicare, right? They are undocumented immigrants are paying taxes. They're paying into our retirement funds, and they will never take the money back out. So not only that, it will devastate our future retirement. And it gets worse from there. Like, I just don't think you have a concept of the role. So I want people to be documented, but you're asking, how do we do that? The answer is pathways to citizenship. We encourage people, right? We want people to be on work visas. If even, let's say Republicans are bigoted and horrible and you don't want people to actually be citizens, well, let's document them and give them visas to work here in hotels, to work in the fields and do the jobs Americans refuse to do and be underpaid and underappreciated, even though they're the actual backbone of the American economy. We need to give them, there has to be pathways to citizenships so that they can be documented and have work visas.
Yeah. It's
Okay, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So what has Trump said that is preventing us from creating those pathways for citizenship, other than being like he wants them to be legal to enter the country legally? I don't understand what you're trying to prove here by saying Trump sucks.
Okay. So that's what everyone comes back and says. So like the actual damage of them being here is almost nothing. They do all these great things, right? So how do we go about making them legal? Do we yank them all out of the country to where they can't come back for another 10 years and then like exacerbate all these economic
and
problems?
cripple
Okay, but when
our
did Trump say
retirement?
he's gonna do that?
You're joking, right? He ran on it. Mass
Throw them out of the
deportation.
country for 10 years. When did he
No,
ever say
That's what
that's
happens.
it. No, Trump's saying he's not letting
That's
them
what
back
happens.
in. Trump's not saying that. Trump's saying
Yeah.
he's not letting them back in. That's like, we're just saying that is part of the law now. But Trump is actually saying these people are gone for good. I'm
I just
telling
think you guys
he
don't
is,
listen to what Trump has to say.
math. I have listened. I want to be very truthful with you. I have never missed a Trump rally. I've never missed a Trump press conference. Every time Trump has spoken since he started in politics, I have listened.
How do you have time for that shit? What the fuck?
This is what I do. This is my job.
I know, but like even then.
Okay, so that you're asking.
Trump
You're
has
asking.
Never
Listen,
said,
I
"I'm
almost
gonna
have an
deport 8
eidetic
million
memory.
people and never let them back in the country." You know
Yes,
that.
he
for a
he
fact.
also wants to denaturalize people.
And
Of
I'm
course.
sad
Yes, he
that
does.
you don't know that.
He's never said that.
Yeah, and
I
let me
would
just
love
tell you
if
something.
guys
Well, I
showed
can.
me
Let me help you with this. Let me help you, D, because it's not just him. I'm not going to put this just on him. It's the Republicans. When the Democrats were desperate to get funding for the border, the bipartisan border bill that they had Senator James Lankford from Oklahoma negotiate for the Republicans and Chris Murphy, from Connecticut negotiate for the Democrats with Kyrsten Sinema, who's an independent. There were no pathways to citizenship in that bill. There were no work visas. There was nothing. And that's why it's crazy, because it's discounting the fact that our entire economy is dependent on these people. That's what scared me the most. If you don't understand
agree
the
with you.
math,
I agree
you
with
can
you.
yell, deport people. If you don't understand that, why would we bite off our nose to spite our face? Why would we shoot ourselves in the leg?
No,
it makes
I
no sense.
fully
You
agree
will
with
be
you that
punished. I will be punished. We are in the same life raft, dependent on undocumented immigrants rowing it.
For sure. I'm not
that's the
saying that
truth.
undocumented immigrants aren't useful for our society. They are. But who is bringing the undocumented immigrants over? It's the Mexican cartel, who's also funding the drug
Hold on.
epidemic.
No, we covered this before, but I don't think you were listening because
we
you were
did
still being
not.
hostile. Hey, I feel like you're listening more now, so I do appreciate that you calm down a little. But the root causes of immigration, and you're talking to someone who has a history degree. And like I said, I disappeared into South America. I did a lot of studying on this. The reason that people come from south of here is because of what we've done since the 60s and 70s in South America. The CIA has destabilized every country. We've done coups. We have put economic sanctions on them. I told you this. Do you think people wake up and they're like, hey, I'd like to leave everything I've ever known? And believe me, as someone that lived in South America, it is the most beautiful place on earth. I would like to leave every person I've ever known, my community, my friends and family. I would like to risk my life and go somewhere where I'm going to be underappreciated and have no rights. No, it's a matter of life and death. If we want people to not come here, unless, we're handing out work visas and it's documented, we have to make it safe and livable. Like I said, poverty is the driver of crime.
Okay,
If they are impoverished, if we continue economic sanctions, if we continue stealing third world country, allowing American corporations through globalization to go into South America to steal their natural resources out from under them, to say, hey, Bolivians, we own your rainwater. If you catch it, you're committing a crime. That's what's happening. And
Okay.
oh, by the way, we're going to set up sweatshops and we're going to exploit you for slave labor. As long as we do that, as long as these people live in poverty, crime will rise and they will continue showing up at our southern border.
I agree with you. I'm not saying America is great, and I'm not saying it's fucking perfect. Like, I know we do some fucked up shit all across the world, and we're in a bunch of foreign fucking places that we shouldn't be. I completely agree with that, and I'm not saying that like what you're saying is wrong, but I'm saying what is happening right now is there's fucking thousands and thousands of people being human trafficked over the border, and that's supporting and funding the Mexican cartels, which is also funding the drugs.
Okay, so let me address that. Let me you know what would really take the fangs out of the cartels? If 70% of the pew-pews that they're using to harass and traffic people weren't coming to them from U.S. pew-pew manufacturers. We are arming the cartels. So please understand that. If you want to know why they have all this firepower and why, let me just say, pew-pews are illegal in Mexico. People don't have them. They're coming from America. We can trace the serial numbers. All of the weapons in South America and Central America and Mexico.
We pretend to be victims.
It's us.
You're going to say we don't have a border problem?
70% of the pew-pews south of here are us.
That's proof of a border problem, guys.
Right,
Like, I don't know if there's any more evidence to us having a border
it's
issue.
capitalism. It's capitalism. Can we stop American? No, listen to me. You want to talk about it? Do you understand? Like they call them the Holy Trinity in Washington: alcohol, tobacco, firearms. Those are the strongest lobbies in Washington, and the NRA lobbies, along with a lot of other associated pew-pew lobbies, to make sure that no one regulates the sales of firearms around the world. We're the number one arms dealers in the world. This is capitalism. And I think you nailed it when you said we're in a lot of places we shouldn't be. We're doing a lot of things we shouldn't be doing. And the answer is why? Capitalism. That's why.
Okay, but your government, your democratic great government,
it's not the government. It's unfettered, unchecked capitalism.
Ukraine. Like, I don't know what you're trying to
unfettered, unchecked capitalism is why this is happening.
It's the right wing is the one who funds wars. Like, you guys can't just point at one incident and be like, all the left is warmongers. We paid $40 billion to Ukraine, and that's you guys didn't even know that much. But that's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. I show this to people all the time. This is our military budget. For 2023, it was $1.14 trillion, and you're talking about $40 billion whole dollars? This is what our military budget looks like in regards to our budget, like yearly budget.
$40 billion?
Yeah.
You're saying only $40 billion? Like, it's a fucking drop in the bucket? Like, I guess,
is.
yeah.
It is in the U.S. budget. It is in the U.S. budget.
$40 billion getting sent to fund wars and kill people from your government.
Defend people? You mean defend people?
American citizen, by the way. Like, you guys know that.
Wait, hold on. It came from the military budget, though, which it's there anyways. It's not like we can get it back. You have to understand how the buckets of the U.S. budget work. It's not like this is the argument people on the right are always making. Like, oh, we'll just move it over to the unhoused, which, by the way, Pickles tried to tell you this when you were screaming about that. Hey, if you care about the unhoused, which I suspect you don't, but if you did, that's a progressive issue. Republicans, anytime someone tries to legislate to do something for the unhoused, Republicans vote it down in Congress. That's the
They
truth.
call it
If you care
socialism,
about the
communism.
unhoused, it's a progressive issue.
Yeah. But this is what I'm talking about. If this is our military budget and we sent this much to Ukraine, if we didn't send this much to Ukraine, do you think we'd be sending it somewhere over here? Because if you want to do that, you vote blue, you vote left. We do these things. You guys do this.
Well, there's a reason why we pour $1.1 trillion into our military. Like we need a military regardless. Like we can't cut a military budget.
Okay,
because
all right.
that's the only thing America has.
But when we
against the
pay
entire-
another military to do military stuff, that's bad. Like when we don't lose any American lives.
When we're spending $40 billion on a different country and you guys are crying about $60 billion being spent on deportation, don't you guys think you're a little contradictory?
No, hold
there?
on. The estimate is 60 to 500 billion.
Okay, you never said 500
Those are the
billion.
estimates.
That-
Those are the
that was
estimates. Yes, I
never
did.
said
No,
500.
D, you don't. You listen. You're only. I said you've been listening more than you were 30 minutes ago, but you're still
Yeah,
not listening.
it was 80 billion a year for 1 million people. It was the other rough estimate we've heard. So it's still twice as much as Ukraine every year.
And our economy will crash. Can we focus on what's important? We are shooting ourselves in the legs.
Yeah.
We're not going to be okay. Like that is probably. I mean,
Our
selfishly,
economy
we
I don't
will
understand
not
how
be
our economy
okay.
will crash. I don't
Okay,
understand.
do we need to take you through the numbers
No,
again?
I
sir?
I get your point. I really do. Like, yeah, okay, we need undocumented migrants that are working, and I'm not saying I have anything against that. And I'm sure he's not just gonna throw out half of our fucking workforce to fucking deport everybody. I'm 100% positive of that. If you guys listen to Trump and you guys weren't so fucking against him just off the get-go,
I have
you
listened to him.
understand that.
We listen to him all the
I
time.
have. The
bro.
math never maths. He
I know,
just
but
says
you guys are
things. He
filled with
doesn't know
hate.
what things mean.
You guys are filled with hate.
Okay, I think you know by now that I'm not filled with hate. I care
Trump,
about
you
solutions.
are.
You're talking to someone who was a teacher. I don't care. I'll teach you. I'll talk to anyone about this stuff.
And I think
don't
that's a
care.
great- I think that-
I'm not
I think we
angry.
need teachers.
I'm
Like, I
just
love our
telling you.
teachers.
I'm trying to explain to you because the things Trump says, and my encouragement is don't listen to what he says. You have to watch the pattern of behavior. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The math's not mathing. He just says words.
Okay, but what does your president do? President Biden. He doesn't say anything at all. I'd rather have someone say shit than say nothing at all.
Okay,
and
no,
cause
but
all
we
these
can talk
fucking
about what he
problems for me.
did because, we can talk about what he did, and I'll give you that. Like, because of people like yourself, right? If you're going to occupy the bully pulpit, you need to drive a narrative. Because what Biden did is recovered the best in the G7 from the pandemic. Biden has one of the the strongest economy. He will hand off the strongest American economy. It hit one of the strongest in history. And yeah, you're right. You nailed it. He's not a good communicator. He has a stutter. He's 81 years old, but he is firing on all cylinders as far as driving this economy forward. He just couldn't communicate it.
Yeah, most people we talk to can't name anything Biden did. They just think he caused inflation. They can't tell us how he caused inflation. They think he opened the border. He can't tell us how he opened the border. It's just something Trump campaigned on. And
All
you guys kind of
I need to know about Biden is Hunter Biden's laptop where he was talking to underage kids. That's all I need to know. And
He wasn't doing that.
all
That's not
has to
true.
go-
That's
That
not
is
true.
completely true.
It's not true. I've read
not true.
every court document. God, it's so sad that you do this. And you
There's
know why
photo
it's sad?
evidence
Hey, can I
of this,
talk to you
guys.
because there's real children who've accused Donald Trump of assault, right? There's actual court documents that have been filed that involve Trump and children and
Yeah,
people
and y'all
that
don't
Trump
care.
has nominated. You know,
Y'all don't
Matt
care.
Gaetz that was Trump nominated for AG. They voted in Congress today. The ethics report that involves actual child trafficking, not you saying something that is unsubstantiated. Yes, someone in the comments said her name. Yes, you nailed it. That's her. But the actual, they had witnesses come and testify. The underage girls that were in fact trafficked. That report is being released. As soon as Congress leaves, that
And-
report
and
on
you're
Matt
saying
Gaetz is
Trump
coming out. No, so what I'm saying
trafficked
to you,
underage
no, listen to me. As a victim of SA, as a child and an adult, if you care about it, understand I care. Anybody, I don't care left or right, that there is evidence that they are doing that should be punished. I can tell you that people have been credibly accused. Matt Gaetz is one. There's a literal report where people testified, not just the victims who were underage,
I don't
but
support
somebody
Matt
who
Gaetz.
was there, an adult who was there testified and said, I
Trump sure
witnessed
does.
it. Yeah,
Trump got the whole Republican Party to
Trump
support
has
Matt
been
Gaetz.
found liable of
He got them
sexual
all
abuse.
to turn around and kiss the ring and support Matt Gaetz, despite knowing all of this.
He got them to turn around and kiss the ring of Matt Gaetz, is what you're saying?
Yes. So if you care about, please don't pretend you care about women and children and sit there on the right where they sit here with people who have been credibly accused and found liable in a court of law of abuse against women. Please.
Okay, well,
I have been a victim of it. The hypocrisy knows no bounds. Don't do that.
it's not hypocrisy. I do care about women. I do
Do
care
you
about
understand
children.
what hypocrisy is?
And I understand that, yeah, I do understand what hypocrisy is. What I understand from you guys is you are completely just brushing off this whole fucking Hunter Biden laptop case where he's.
Oh, I know everything about it. I know everything about it. I know the facts about it. I know the facts about it. No one was underage. I know the facts about it. Not what you heard. Not what you heard. I know the facts about it. And if that was true and they had found it, hey, they combed through his entire life, everything. And I'm not talking about the stepdad copy that showed up at a laptop place that Rudy Giuliani had. I'm saying the FBI has an actual 100% of authentic copy of his iCloud account, a real hard drive.
Now we love
Stop
the FBI.
talking. I'm not done. You want to talk about this, so let's talk about it.
5 minutes ago, you were telling me the CIA ruined Bolivia, and now
I'm not
you
done.
love
I'm
the
not done.
CIA and
Hey,
FBI.
I'm not
That makes a lot
interested
of
in.
sense.
I'm not interested in conspiracy theories. You want to talk
You
about
just
this?
said you hate the
Again,
FBI and CIA. Now
no.
you're using the FBI
Hey,
as a
Can I
point
say
in your
something?
argument.
Can I? Okay,
She didn't even
please
say
stop
that,
interrupting me.
but go ahead.
I didn't say that. You just, anyways. The CIA does not deny what they did. In if you're under the impression that the CIA, those files are public, they're not denying it. It's not a conspiracy. That's just something that happened in Central and South America. That's just history. You could just look that up.
never said it was a conspiracy.
But I'm saying you're trying to now say, oh, I don't trust the FBI. Anyways, this was Donald Trump's FBI, right? The FBI is primarily Republicans. I'm not done. Hold on. I'm not done. And furthermore, this is not the FBI that was investigating Hunter Biden. There are laws against that because his dad was president. That's what special counsels are for, right? That's what special investigators, that's what Robert Mueller was doing. That's what Jack Smith was. They operate separately outside of the FBI, so there are no conflicts of interest. They comb and actually, if you knew the history of the Hunter Biden stuff, while Trump was president, that is when the FBI, Trump's FBI, started investigating Hunter Biden. They'd already been investigating him for years, trying to find something on him prior to Biden even getting into office. If they had anything and that was true, if there was credible evidence that he did anything to an underage child, I would condemn it and I would say it out loud and we would hold him
where's the
accountable.
credible evidence that Matt Gaetz or
I'm just
Trump
telling you because
did
you
something to
asked.
an underage child?
I just told you, Matt Gaetz. I just explained it to you.
Show me. You guys have a fucking
Okay, so
laptop
again,
screen
listen
here.
when
Show
I
me the
speak.
evidence.
Okay, listen when I speak to you, and I'm going to say it slowly
Joel
for you.
Greenberg is his name?
The ethics committee did an investigation, the Congressional Ethics Committee. They voted today to release it. It's coming out. As soon as they leave for Christmas break, it's coming out. Now, in that case, Joel Greenberg, who was Matt Gaetz's friend, he's the other trafficker. He's in jail for 11 years. He testified to the ethics committee against Matt Gaetz. He testified in his own trial and incriminated Matt Gaetz. This is not prove it. This report is coming out as soon as the government doesn't shut down and they go on Christmas break, the ethics report is coming out and you can read it yourself.
Okay, I want to know what Trump did to underage because you guys have been throwing that accusation out. So I wanna know what
Do you
Trump
believe
did
the
to
Epstein
underage.
files?
Did I read the Epstein files?
Do you believe
because
them?
Oh, I do believe them for sure.
Oh,
I don't believe Trump was at
And-
Epstein's island.
No, there's a 13-year-old girl named, no. And just so you know, anything that you've never read the Epstein files and you don't understand what they are then. Because anything that happens on that island is outside U.S. jurisdiction. It's nothing in the Epstein files has anything to do with that island. So before you embarrass yourself again on another live, don't bring up that island. Where this stuff happened was in the U.S., right? In a Manhattan townhouse, also in Florida.
there was a
And
young
there's a
girl.
girl
Her name
named
was
Katie Johnson
Katie
who
Johnson.
filed a lawsuit against Trump and Jeffrey Epstein about when she was 13. And you can read the lawsuit in Los Angeles and you can read the lawsuit in New York, and it is hideous.
Oh, here we go. Let's see it.
She
Woman from-
kept dropping it. The accuser, identified in the lawsuit pseudonym Jane Doe, was expected to appear in a news conference in Los Angeles Wednesday, but that appear was abruptly canceled. The lawyer who organized the event, Lisa Bloom, said
Yeah,
Trump's
and New
accuser had
Mexico.
received
Thanks, Chad.
threats and was too frightened to show up. In most of in Trump's recent suits, Trump's accuser asserted that while she was exploring a model career in 1994, he attended a series of parties in Manhattan in the home of prominent investor Jeffrey Epstein. She alleges that during those parties, the real estate mogul tied her to a bed and raped her. She also claimed Epstein raped her during that series of gatherings. Meanwhile, she was 13.
But the case was dropped.
And
So that makes no sense.
after a series of threats.
Okay, so threats will drop a case. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
so I just want you to
total
know
sense, guys.
you're discreting
Our
a
judicial
13-year-old
system
girl.
is based
You're
on what-
discrediting a 13-year-old
She probably lied, bro.
girl. So I just
You're
want to
right.
point out.
Discrediting
You're right.
anybody.
I know, because there's no lawsuit against Hunter Biden, but you said, oh, we need, hypothetically, if there was, you want to label him something.
well,
I'm
Trump's
telling
getting
you,
lawsuits
there are,
over and over again, and you guys
again,
still haven't
listen,
got him. So, like, I
what
don't
do
know.
you mean? Trump's been 26
You do understand we
women
live in
have
a
accused Trump of SA. 26 women have accused Trump credibly of SA.
Yeah, but we
He's
live in
been
a
found liable. Hold on. He's been found liable. He's been found liable by unanimously by a jury of his peers for sexual abuse in
But do we
the
not
state
live
of
in a
New York.
presumptive
Okay, so no
innocence
wait. You're
country?
trying to discredit women. So now we're talking about a jury. Now we're talking about a New York jury of other New York citizens who heard the evidence and found him liable
Unanimously.
unanimously.
Okay, then why is he not in jail?
Please stop discrediting women. Let's just change the subject because this you should be honestly this
let's
is
change-
sickening.
let's change
I've
the
been the
subject.
victim
I
of
wanna change
SA,
the subject.
and you know what? I never reported it because of people like you. Just this is why
People like
one in
me?
three,
What have I done?
1 in 3 women have been SA'd. So you tell me if 26 women
And I'm
credibly
sorry for
accuse
those
Trump,
women, but I've
1 in
done
3. Let's
nothing
do the
to
math.
do that.
1 in 3. 1 in 3. Do the math. Someone's telling the truth. Stop.
Okay, you're blaming sexual assault on me. And
You're
saying you
blaming
don't spread
women.
hate.
No, I said this is why women. You are sitting here. As long as it's your guy, Donald Trump, then you're saying, "Oh, it was dropped. It was dropped." Is a 13-year-old who's being
Because we
threatened?
live in a presumptive innocent country. You're presumed innocent.
Okay, so
until you're
now I
proven
said.
guilty.
So now I said a jury found him liable. Do you give that credit or no?
then he
jury.
should be in jail. But they
A jury found him liable. Okay, so then you shouldn't support him anymore. So then you shouldn't. So you don't believe
But he's
women.
innocent because
So
he
you
was
don't
in
believe women,
jail.
but if a jury of his peers unanimously find him liable, will you believe a woman then?
Why do you keep saying he has to go to jail if he was found liable?
Okay, all I'm saying is you guys are throwing out a case that doesn't make any sense. That was in a New York court that everybody knows it was paid for by fucking George Soros or whatever Democrat you could think of.
Give me a break.
So again,
Pay
this
for
is
all
why
the
women
juries.
don't come forward and report SA. What's happening right here?
Give me a break.
What you're doing? A
have no
jury
evidence of
of
that.
New
That's
York
not the
citizens
truth. You have
no evidence of that.
chosen at random were impaneled. First of all, a grand jury who heard the evidence and were like, okay, and then a jury that found him unanimously liable for it.
That was
and now
hand-selected
you're
by
blaming
Democrats.
George Soros, a Hungarian businessman.
Okay, first off, I want to stop talking about sexual assault because I don't have, like, I have no position on that. Like I can't stand.
You're
saying
taking
anything about
one.
that.
You just took a really gross one in
How
front
am I
of
taking a position?
1,700.
If
In
someone's
front of
presumed
1,700
innocent
people, you
until
took a
they're
really
guilty,
gross
then they're
position.
innocent,
You
Felice.
took a really
That's how
gross
our
position
country
on the
works.
internet.
Is Epstein innocent?
Well, yeah, I guess so. He wasn't fucking proven guilty. Hey,
Nice.
we live in a presumed innocent country.
Had
Until
enough of
someone's
this now.
proven
Like, have we
guilty-
had enough of this?
Until someone's proven guilty, then they're innocent. That's how it works in our fucking
Nice.
country. That's how it's always worked.
Got it.
Okay. You guys got me. All I'm saying though is Trump didn't essay anybody. Trump didn't do anything to anyone. Trump has only made our country better and will continue to make our country better. And you guys will realize how wrong you are in the next 4 years when you see our country actually fucking get better instead of being in this fucking whatever shithole we're in because of you guys.
And that's
being
cognitive
absolutely
dissonance, audience.
brainwashed.
This is actual cognitive dissonance. Every
Felice, you lived in
single
fucking
point you
South
brought
America
up,
for most of your life. What do you mean you know anything about
I have
America?
not lived in South America for most of my
you
life.
just said
What
you
are you
did.
talking
Like, I
about?
come from South America, so what do you know about
I didn't
the
say
American
that, but
people
you
and
don't
the
listen when
American
people talk.
government?
So again,
Comprehension
no,
sucks.
I was born in the United States. For the majority of my life, I have been in the United States. You have no idea what you're talking about. And again, point for point, you have been proven wrong with data and with facts. And then you end with, hey, I'm still in cognitive dissonance. And even though Trump's been found liable of SA, he's never done anything wrong.
Liable of was he proven guilty?
Liable of
Guilty
SA. Do
is
you
in
understand the
criminal
difference
court.
Was
between
he
civil?
proven guilty?
Yeah, he
Guilty is a
doesn't
criminal
understand. He
court
doesn't
thing, bro.
understand how the civil
Liable-
justice
okay.
system works.
You are fucking pushing that he was a SA. He was
So
a
again,
rapist.
I'm going to help
But
you out
where
here. A
is the
jury
evidence?
of
There
his
is no
peers
evidence.
found him unanimously liable for sexual abuse in the
A jury
state
that was
of New York.
hand selected by the fucking
No,
By him,
okay.
by his
I don't
lawyers.
think you understand how voir dire works. But if you did, you would understand how jury
that
selection
the
works.
New York government is corrupt and the New York judicial system is corrupted
How
against Trump
embarrassing.
and has been
How
trying to
embarrassing.
How far
sue
you
him.
reach, man.
Literally,
Like,
guess
you
what?
have,
You guys are
every
weird
argument
coats, bro.
you have made
Those
has
are
been
wrong.
Heavy
dismantled.
coats.
And when you get backed into a corner that you just go, it's a conspiracy. It's a
It
conspiracy.
is a conspiracy. It is
How
a conspiracy.
embarrassing.
Because there's
Coping,
no
bro.
evidence.
Okay, are we about
Coping.
done with
proof
this?
that he did
This
anything.
is getting embarrassing.
You're just
I'm
saying
bored.
that he did
Just
something.
the coping, bro.
and
You
just
call us
wanna
brainwashed.
push this point that he-
Again,
got the
a
craziest
jury
coats.
of his peers heard the evidence and unanimously found him liable.
Okay, then is he guilty? That's my question. Is he guilty?
Guilty's a criminal thing.
Okay, is he guilty?
So confused.
Yes or no? Is he guilty? That's the simple
You
question.
can't you can't be charged with a crime past the statute of limitations, bro.
So he's not guilty, is what you guys are saying.
Can I just say something before? Can we
If he were to
please
be
talk to
tried, he'd
someone
be
else? By the way?
guilty. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you,
guys have
Candace.
done
Said
nothing but
can you
prove
be
my
quiet
point
for a
that
second?
you
I have
guys-
to do some capitalism. Be quiet. You deserve a bigger payment. You are on fire tonight. Such an amazingly smart person. I'm a longtime listener of all your various projects. Keep it up. That's so nice, Candace. I love you. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay, are you done now? Or you got to go steal money from more people off TikTok Live? Or are you going to let me speak?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as someone who is working a full-time job, who has been living in America for my whole life, I've seen nothing but fucking shit hit the fan when Democrats are in charge. I don't care what you guys are saying about Trump.
Do you want me to
because
explain
guys
that to
aren't-
you?
You guys
Would you
aren't
like an
fucking
answer
right
to that?
about
Would you
Trump
like to
because
learn
it's
something
spreading
about how the
misinformation.
economy works? Would you like to
And-
learn something about how the economy works, or do you want to continue being wrong about
I'm
how
not
the
going to
economy
listen to how the
Information.
economy works by someone
No,
who's
because
begging for money
you
on
don't.
TikTok
All
Live.
we've given is
If you
facts.
go and work a job and
You've
actually
yelled
get
your
your own money,
feelings.
then I will
You've
listen to
yelled
you
your
about how the
feelings
economy
this
works.
entire time. Literally, we've had to listen to you cry and yell your feelings. So let me explain to you how it works.
Because you guys are.
Do you
out here
understand that
capitalizing
capitalism
off
is a
people
sine wave?
and saying that
You
you
don't
are fucking supporting.
Let me
Kamala or
explain to you how
whatever.
the economy works so you don't yell ignorant things anymore.
I'm not
You
yelling.
want
at
to
you or
know
anything.
why it feels that
Both
way
of
to
you guys
you?
are capitalizing off the people off TikTok Live to debate guys like me, and you have done nothing. But prove
We're
me
not
right.
debating. You're yelling your feelings,
give
and
me
we're
money.
teaching you things.
Give me money.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you guys.
This is
have
not a
any
debate.
morals, like,
This is not discourse. This is you yelling incorrect things and me saying, "Hey, would you like me to teach you
You're on
something
such a
about
high
what you
pedestal,
don't know?" This
but
is
you're
not a
taking
debate.
money from working class Americans on TikTok Live while you sit there and talk about misinformation and lie to people on TikTok Lives.
More
I'm not
feelings.
profiting
More
off
feelings.
this. You guys are profiting off this.
More
Like, I'm not trying to-
feelings.
I'm
More
just telling you the
feelings.
truth.
No,
You're
this
right.
is This is
We
the
need to
free
diversify.
market. You
We-
could
we
be.
should diversify.
You
You're
just said
worth
you hated
45
capitalism, so
coins.
why are you profiting
This
off
is
We
the
should
free
working class
market.
Americans?
This
I
is the
should
free
sell-
market. You're
should sell
worth 35
shoes.
coins, and I'm worth 3,000. This is capitalism. You're a
Chat.
Republican. You love the free
Next
market.
week, I will be
You're
selling-
worth
I love the free
45
market,
coins,
except
and
when
I'm
you're
worth
capitalizing
3,000.
I'll be selling shoes.
The
I'm gonna be
people
selling-
have
Stand on this
spoken.
moral
This is
high
our
ground
work.
of-
This
over
is
people.
what we're worth. Welcome to capitalism, D. Maybe if you read some
Thank you so
things
much for
and
the
learned
galaxy.
something, people would value you higher in the
Elise,
free
I'm
market.
too busy working a job and not.
Bless your
scoundering money
heart.
off people
Bless
on
your
fucking
heart. And
TikTok
this
Live.
is, you know
I
how
actually,
hard it is
like,
to learn?
Just like the guy before me, I actually contribute to society instead of rage baiting and causing people to fucking
Rage
send me
baiting?
money.
You're screaming.
You're a rage
You're
baiter.
screaming bigoted things. I'm correcting I'm just giving you facts, and you don't like it. I don't
What
have a
facts
problem with
given me?
you.
You said Trump was
You're
a
joking,
rapist.
right?
You said Trump has sex.
You're joking, right? No, I said, hold on. I said he's been found liable of sexual abuse.
And then you're silent.
I said
You
he's
can't
been
say
found
anything.
liable of SA. You are yelling that he's a rapist, and I think that's. Thank you for saying that, but I didn't say that. You don't listen when people talk. I taught you about immigration. I taught you about the value of undocumented labor. I told you about a joint economic study that came out that tells us what will happen to our economy when we deport millions of people. I've taught you many things today.
study that
and you're welcome.
has
You got
no-
a free education. You rage baited.
All I learned
You've
is
been
that
screaming your feelings.
you
All I did
and
was educate you.
Pickles are
You're
just
welcome,
profiting
by the
off
way.
people right now and doing everything you can to make a quick buck, and you're getting guys
Are
like
you
me
repeating
who know
the
you're
things
wrong,
you've been saying?
Who know you're wrong. Like I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Like,
Who
you guys
know
are
you're
out
wrong.
here.
You caught
You know
us.
you're
that's
wrong.
what's
You
going
know
on. You
Trump
caught
hasn't
us.
done anything but
We're
make this
lying our
country
butts off.
better. And you guys are profiting off people who are working class Americans who believe
really
you
just
and
repeating
believe the
himself
lies
now.
that you
This
guys
is
keep
getting
pushing
weird.
onto people.
D,
You guys are
you
fucking taking people's
you over
money
18?
who are working
Yeah,
every day.
math
Like,
is
sit
not a
at
lie,
home
sir.
and do
Math is not a
nothing.
lie. Statistical correlations are not a lie. Like,
Statistical
you just don't know what
correlations.
we're talking about,
Correlations.
but that doesn't
We're
make
talking
it
about
incorrect.
Like, what do you mean statistical correlations?
Yes,
Okay,
I'll tell you.
there's a
You were
study
talking
that
about the
economy
border.
might
Here, let me
fail
give you an
under
example
Trump.
of a statistical.
Has the economy
Let me give you an
failed under
example
Trump?
of a
No, and it
statistical
never
correlation.
will.
There is no statistical correlation between immigration and crime. There's one.
I like it.
Okay, what about the cartel who is profiting off all the human trafficking that you support because you want to open up the borders, and then you're going to sit here and tell people to send you money because, no, I actually love immigrants and I love making this country better. But the truth of it is, you don't care about this country. All you care about is making enough money to go back to South America so you can fucking sit on a beach and tell people that they're wrong and their political
Okay.
opinions are wrong. Like, you are
Let me
literally
just tell you,
taking
can I
money
just be
from
clear
working
about
hard
something?
Americans.
Because I am a genuine person. So I want to be really clear with you. I was born in America, in Arizona, in a border state, right? I was schooled in America. I got a Division I volleyball scholarship. I went to university in the United States. I got a job. I was a second grade teacher. I have a history degree. I worked in the tech industry pre-IPO for a social media company to post-IPO. I was sexually assaulted. The tech industry is 90% male and 10% female. Horrible things happen to
And I'm
women
sorry-
in
I'm
that
sorry to hear
industry.
that, folks.
And no,
I truly
I'm not
am
done.
sorry.
You know, you're accusing me of things, so let's be clear. And I had such a nervous breakdown after that happened. And you don't know this. Biden changed this rules. There's these horrible rules about non-compete clauses when you work high up at the tech industry, and they make you sign one. So I couldn't get another job, right? Because of a non-compete clause I signed in an NDA. So I disappeared into South America to unalive. But then I just decided, because I'm a fighter and I'm a winner and I'm pretty smart, that I wasn't going to do that and I should just come back and deal with it.
And I'm sorry to hear that. And I'm sorry that you thought that going on TikTok Live and spreading lies and misinformation to people and profiting off it is a better thing to do with your life. Because teaching and working an actual job would be so much more useful from you.
I do teach every day. I just taught you. I just taught you. I am an educator. I'm a lifelong educator.
Shitty this whole system is. All you guys debating Trump. You guys are making like hundreds and hundreds of dollars off.
Do you understand that you're just whining?
I don't
This
care
is
if I'm
not
just whining.
debate. This
Dozens
is
of
you
dollars.
whining and being hysterical.
No, I'm not whining. I'm fucking telling the truth. You guys are out here.
You're
profiting
going to-
off
you're
this,
hysterically
off rage
whining.
baiting.
D, I'm
You guys
sorry.
want
This
people
is
to be angry.
hysterical.
You guys are making money off
This
me
is
right now getting
2024,
mad.
D. This is 2024. You're going to be seeing this for a long time. You're going to be seeing people on the internet monetizing the internet and having fun and doing things that they enjoy.
I'm not saying you guys are anything wrong with you guys. Just stop spreading lies and stop.
We're not
spreading
spreading
Screamed at
any
me.
lies.
You screamed at me. I've not said one lie this entire time. I've been genuine with you and I've been kind to you. You've disrespected me at every turn.
Dude, all you
I
have
haven't
to do,
disrespected you
bro,
once.
you want to get
I've only listened to you, Felice.
You want to do something?
Put
you
a
can
one
hang
in the
out.
chat if he's disrespected me. Can everyone
Yeah.
put a one in the chat if D has disrespected me, please?
This is what you can do. You can record my
Two in the
live.
chat if I haven't disrespected. her.
Record my live and then find where I've been lying and expose my lies. Make some videos.
No, what you guys said Trump was liable for SA, and then I asked you, is he guilty of SA? and you guys can fucking make up
I
an
said
answer
no.
because you guys know you're lying.
Okay, so you
Like-
have disrespected me. And again, I'm talking about court documents and how a jury of his peers found he has been found liable for sexual abuse.
We keep
That is a
saying
fact.
liable. We say
Whether
the
you like
correct
it,
thing,
whether
and
you
keep
like
trying to get
like
us to
it or
say
not,
the incorrect
those are
thing.
facts.
You keep trying to get us
Those
to say
aren't
that he's
facts.
guilty.
That's a
That's all.
lie.
That's all you're saying.
Listen,
Didn't
D,
set
I'm
SA
sorry.
anybody.
I'm sorry
Yeah,
that you
yes,
don't
you
know
did.
that that's true. It is correct. You can just
I'm
do
sorry
a
that
simple
you're
Google search.
profiting off of
Do a
lying on
simple
TikTok.
Google
That's what
search.
I'm sorry
do a,
about.
Okay, you're hysterically whining again. Just do a Google search and you can find out you're wrong.
Okay,
Thank you, Victoria,
first
for the
off, I'm not
$5,
wrong.
by the way,
There's
from a
no
hardworking
proof or evidence
American.
that he
Again,
essayed
can-
anyone. Otherwise, no one would stand for that. Even Trump supporters, no one would fucking find that acceptable. You guys are just spreading misinformation, rage baiting people so that they click on your
You gotta
live.
just- you
and
Okay,
then
have
they
to
send
tell me-
guys
you
money.
have
do
to
a
show me
Google
the
search and you
misinformation.
can find out that it's true.
just
do
find
a
me
Google
some
search
misinformation.
I'm
and
here
find out
debating
that
you
it's
guys.
true.
I'm not profiting
can
off
you-
this.
can you-
I'm actually here to
can you
have
point-
a
Can you just
conversation.
look it up
you guys
for
are
him?
spreading lies. That's the
Can you
only
can you
reason
point to
I'm
my
upset.
lie?
It's
Can you
'cause
point to a
guys are
lie?
spreading
Can you
misinformation.
can you point to a lie I've said?
Felice is. I don't know about Pickles. I've only been really talking to Felice.
Okay, can you point
and
to a
all
lie
I've heard
she
is that
said?
Trump is an essayer. All
Okay.
I've heard is
Again,
undocumented migrants.
Trump,
Without undocumented
again,
migrants, we're gonna lose our economy. Which
we will.
is just a
It's true.
theory. That's not true. That's
It's
the
not a
truth.
theory. It's a math equation. It's a math equation, and it's a
Okay,
joint.
coming
It's
from
a
a history teacher,
bipartisan
I don't need to hear about
economic.
math.
It's a bipartisan economic report that was released by the Senate.
A report
yesterday.
that a report
It's
about the future,
no.
a
It's
theory,
it's of
something that
statistical.
might
No,
happen.
oh my God! If only you could
Something
do
that
math.
might happen is what you're trying to tell me is
It's most
the proof
likely
and
to
evidence that
happen.
you guys have against
It
Trump.
is most
destroying our
likely
economy.
to happen. Yeah. Okay.
Most likely to happen.
All right. He's been up for an hour, chat. We have such a full box. We're going to go to the next guest. Chat, I was waiting for somebody to pay to kick, but it wasn't happening. Let's go. Oh, golly. Chat, when someone just says that you're a liar all the time and then can't tell you where you've lied,
So, do you guys actually believe that it's okay to unalive Palestinian babies?
no.
Well, then why would you support a candidate who does?
I don't think Kamala did.
She did. She openly did, repeatedly.
When did she do that?
When it was brought up, she said, "I'm speaking." Remember that?
I'm sorry? Are you
There
a Trump supporter?
t-shirts. I'm a Jill Stein supporter. We've spoken before.
All right.
Yeah, we've spoken before. Remember? I agree that Trump sucks. I'm not going to lie with you. I'm not going to lie to you and say Trump doesn't suck. You're right. He does suck, and he is going to tank the economy. He is 100%.
All right. So knowing that, he still wants to throw a fit and pretend like Jill Stein was the answer. Jill Stein was never going to win.
Embarrassing. How embarrassing for that
You were
man.
conned into voting for somebody that helped Trump win. You silly goose. You silly, silly goose. Bless your poor little heart. Some people just can't do math.
Okay, so I'm on your guys' side. I don't know if that's okay. But someone said show proof. So ready? Ready, guys? Hold on. I gotta find the green screen. Was Trump found liable for SA? In fact, he was.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be enough.
We know. We all know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about to the people in the comment. D, if he's still here, Trump was found liable. This is stuff you could quickly Google search.
Well, thank you so much. We're not taking friendlies, but thank you so much. I was going to let you say your one thing, but thank you so much, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hello.
Kathleen, thank you for the $20 for the pay to kick. It might be thank you. Do you want me to put it on the next kick pool, Kathleen? Just let me know. What's up, Dream Lord? Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I am not.
Gee, dang it.
I know. I just wanted to touch up on Felice. I just want to tell you that, nothing but love. We stand with you. I work in the tech industry, cybersecurity, and I know how it is. I always been vocal about it. It's super machismo. These guys that got this pent up anger. This I call them the school PP guys. But I feel your pain too. Like the U.S. is not a good place to live anymore. It's even as a veteran, I'm like, what the hell? It sucks. It's but nothing but love for you guys, and Felice, keep doing you. I know you're not letting me.
Thank you for your service.
No, thank you. You guys have a wonderful night.
All right, thank you.
Have a great night.
Likewise, bye-bye.
So technically I have a free kick. Technically I have a kick saved up, chat. We can cash it in tonight. I just have to be selective because sometimes you have to chew on some of these guests for a while because we have an empty box. Pickles is terrified of me. Dude, I'm not debating people who can't do math. Hello? Tinkin? Okay. Don't shoot that. Yeah. Hello? Yellow?
So guys, how you doing, guys? I like Pop Tart Chicken, guys. Can you hear me, guys? I'm trying to see if you guys heard me, guys.
You meet all sorts of people on the internet.
I would be curious to know who that was.
Hello?
We have like 5 clips.
Hello?
Just
Leaf Eater?
Oh
yeah, I'd have 25, 30, 50 clips, and I have like 4 of these.
He's talking about pew pews as a little kid. Hello?
What's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
What do you like about Trump?
All right, so Loki is not even really that I like Trump a whole lot, but I really don't like the policies of the Democratic Party.
Like which ones?
Abortion, that's a big one, and open border.
What do you think? What do you think we did to open the border?
Well, I mean, she's really not making any plans to like not have people coming in.
But we didn't open it, right?
But Kamala believes in an open border.
Says who?
Says her.
When did she say that? Yep.
Told us. No, libertarians do, though, and they're on the right. If you look for someone that believes in an open border, it's the libertarians.
Yellow?
Yo,
What's
I just wanted to see what your thoughts were about Joe Biden claiming that they had a scandal-free administration.
Compared to Trump's, pretty much, yeah.
No. He said they had zero scandals. That was literally, he said zero.
What's a scandal? Like, define scandal.
Like a
What's a
political
scandal?
He
Well, it
said,
depends on what is a political scandal to you. That's kind of a subjective thing. What is a scandal?
well, I mean, like when you say something and it's not true, and then there's like, kind of.
That's a
Well,
lie.
there's a database
Well,
that tracks
I don't
Trump's.
know.
Yeah, that's a lie. And there's a database of Trump's lies of his first presidency.
I'm not- I
which
didn't say anything.
No, I'm just saying, if a lie is a scandal, then
Look, let's not
then-
pivot here. It was a simple question.
No,
what are
you
your
were the one.
thoughts
That
about
was
Joe
your
Biden
definition. When
claiming
you say something, it's not
that
true.
they
I said,
had a
"What's a scandal?" You said,
scandal-free-
"When you say something that's not true."
No, okay. Well, I could say like, all right. Well, you guys clearly don't want to.
What can you name a Joe Biden scandal for us?
Just give us an example of what you
that
think
wasn't my
was
question.
a scandal.
The question was, what do you think about Biden claiming that they didn't have a scandal? It's not my
I would
definition of what it is. I'm just saying, what do you think about him saying such a
Okay,
thing?
I think it's fair. I think it's good.
Oh, all right. You guys don't live in reality. Have a good one.
Do you want to tell us which scandal we should be thinking about? Okay.
No, listen, I'll be on. Like, I think Hunter Biden is a complete Nepo baby. I think he put everyone in a bad position with his selfishness. I also don't still like that he's selling art to like his dad's rich political friends. I don't know if I'm in the mood for Dale. Guys, actually, the audience might find this interesting. This is my first troll. When I started doing lives on the internet and I would have like 15 people in my lives, Dale would just be there all night, just being like, no, no matter what I was saying.
Hello, Dale.
Hey, Dale. And that's what he changed his name to David, but that's his real name.
Biggest scandal would be that Biden was cognitively all there when he wasn't.
He still is.
You guys had to.
Here we go. I forgot. Dale thinks he's a neurologist from Florida. Dale, you have no medical training. And if you're going to. No, Dale, we're not going to be diagnosing people. We've been through this. You're not a neurologist. You're not. I'm sorry, Dale.
No.
You can't diagnose people. Dale, when you go to medical school and you come back in 8 years, and well, it's going to be 12 after you do your residency, and then we're going to let you diagnose someone's brain, okay? We're not doing that now. Move on. I think you're connected.
And
all right, I used my
that's
pick.
why you lost.
I don't mind Dale. Dale's kind of harmless. Why did we use it on Dale? He's not even that bad. We'll probably need that. I'll pay to kick someone. Dale, I did miss you, Dale, though. It's been too long. See? We did talk.
Hello, Amor.
Yo, what's going on, Pickles?
What's up, man? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am. This is like our third time chatting.
Okay. What do you want to chat about?
I like your voice.
Oh, thank you. Hey, man. Well, I don't know if you remember, you educated me a lot on the Keystone Pipeline, as well as a few other things I can't remember right now. I have a question for you, and it's also just some information because, I think you're very good at giving, accurate information. I've seen somewhere that Biden had, he's at like 8,000 pardons. Is that like just straight misinformation?
It was like 1,500. And he commuted people's sentences. There were like people in prison. There were kind of like blanket pardons for certain things. Felice might know more than I do.
Okay.
What's the question? I'm sorry. I was laughing at something people wrote in the chat.
The amount of pardons that Biden's had, and I guess also the clemency that he's issuing. What is the accurate number on those?
Is it like 1,500?
Yeah.
Are you talking about it was announced like last week?
Yeah.
And
Well, I saw somewhere it was like
it's like people on house arrest. Oh, well, I don't know why I said 1,500. We can just look it up. It came out and it's 1,500. See, look at me go. I have an almost photographic memory, so if I see something once, I can usually remember.
Fair enough. Well, I'll keep it straight. Every time I've come in, I think we've had incredibly civil conversations, and I wanted to come in as a Trumper and be like, how do you guys feel that he won? And that's just shitty. So I'll leave it at asking about clemency.
He said so these people's sentences they were put on home confinement during the COVID-19 pandemic, and
they're on house arrest.
So they were just commuted. I don't think
they're not people who are in prison. It's people who have been like with ankle bracelets and have served the community. I read up on a couple of cases, and it's like people who have shown like exemplary like service to the community while on home confinement. They seem like pretty good people. I mean, at least to the couple of stories I read.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not.
And let's get back to work. I don't necessarily think we should have people trapped on home confinement. Like, I do think we could fuel our economy. Like, if people want to work, and let's let them work. Did you ask? Like, you said, why do I think Trump win? I think that's a valid question. I want to answer if you don't mind. Why do I think Trump win?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think like I kind of touched on it when Dee was up here, but I just think that like when you have the bully pulpit, if you're in the presidency, like, especially now in today's day and age with all this misinformation and disinformation, it's not even that you have to be a great communicator. You have to hammer home a narrative, right? And Biden, and again, I'm not saying that I don't, like, he has a stutter. He could not communicate, and he was doing good stuff, but he couldn't communicate it, right? And then coupled with, it's not so much even in America, like, the shift towards authoritarianism, that's something that we've seen worldwide. And moreover, like whoever was the incumbent during the pandemic, pretty much by and large has been ousted. Like basically people just said, hey, I went through 4 years of hell and I don't want to hear anymore. I just am hoping that if we get this person out and get someone new in, like a new party in, things will change.
Yeah.
Like that is the trend heard around the world.
Well, and if I can ask one more question to you guys, would it be that, do you guys feel that this election was a fair and just election?
I think the election process was fair. I think there were some shitty things that like Musk did, but no, I don't think that it was like stolen.
No, there's studies. I think our elections are more safe now than they were before. We know that, right? Like, if we're better, the safest. Yeah. So I think this was a fair election in terms of like the tabulation of votes. Yeah, absolutely. But like, I just think we need to get money out of politics, period. Like as 100%. As long as we're going to let billionaires insert hundreds of millions of dollars in politics and control these narratives, then I don't think it's not fair for us, the American people, but the election was fair.
100%. And like, I am a Trump supporter. I did vote Trump this election. Musk being put on for the Department of Government Efficiency is so stupid. Like, you've got a man who's controlling the government efficiency who also holds government contracts. Like, that is crazy. And I will say, I do not agree with a lot of his cabinet choices. and not that you guys need my explanation or where I'm at, but, you know, for me, the whole reason of my vote was I think I was voting between two evils, and I had to choose between what, in my opinion, was the lesser of the two.
But now Trump has now appointed 15 billionaires. Well, and whatever you consider Vivek and Elon, you know, less appointed, more anointed.
No,
but
yeah.
you know, whatever. And they have the wealth of 169 countries. Like, this is now, I mean, it was an oligarchy before, but I mean, we're
No,
an
I don't
oligarchy.
argue that, but I mean, it's hard to make the argument that any politician, or, you know, I mean, you even look at fucking like our House or our Senate, you have individuals that are making $80,000 a year that are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, they're paid by influence, and a lot of it's corrupt, a lot of it's kosher, but we're talking about people like Trump who have installed those people like donors into positions of power, people who are completely unqualified. They're literally just billionaires that are controlling arms of our government now, and I don't trust that they're going to do things that would benefit us and hurt them. I don't think they would do any of that.
You know, and I respectfully, I disagree with you, and that is just in that I believe if you get into, I think true politics died, or true politicians died in the 60s, you know. I think too many greedy people have found their way into government, and now it's become, you know, a vote for popularity and who you want to be your best friend nowadays. That's my outlook on it.
I think there's one side who's a little bit like that, and then there's another side who's like that as much as you can think of, to the worst degree in reality.
Yeah, like you're both siding the argument, but I mean, we could do the math on it. One side is grossly more corrupt or has grossly more billionaires, or like their financial policies. Like, forget the people, like what you personally think about someone's ethics. It's about the policies. 100%. Republican policies redistribute wealth to the top of the economy. We have decades and decades of data to show that there is no trickle down. Like, I don't care about who the people are. I'm talking, I care about the policies that people vote for. And since Reagan, capitalism is a sine wave, right? It's boom, bust, boom, bust. And what we know is, in the bust, if you have capital, right, if you're the donor class, there are huge transfers of wealth to the top of the economy. When we were all suffering in the pandemic, one of the largest transfers of wealth happened straight to the top of the economy. I mean, I could go off on this. 60% of wealth in America is now inherited. It's unrealized capital gains being transferred from wealthy to their children that we can't even touch.
And not to argue with you, not to agree with you, I believe that the pandemic was the largest transfer of wealth in American history. At least between classes.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the value of the wealth that was transferred, like, I mean, it's close, or it's right up there with one of them. Sure.
I'm losing reception. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I just want to say,
follow you. Come back
every time I come in.
You're a good guy. Thanks for having a decent conversation.
Hey, the day that we stop talking is the day that shit gets dangerous. I think we should all be able to. What's going on, Lily? Hi, Lily. I think we should all be able to sit and talk, and you know, at least be able to pick each other's brains. You know.
Facts.
All right. Well, y'all have an easy rest of your day.
All right, man. You too.
Tell Lily we said hi. I just want to say, Zane said, for your services of showing how unintelligent D is. Thank you. Thank you, Zane. Christina said, too bad I didn't read this, Christina, before. Can you ask Dale if women can pee with a tampon in? God, I wish I would have seen that, because I would have loved to hear his answer. And it would have been something horrible, too. Like, it would have been something none of us can ever recover from.
Hello?
Yo.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am not, but I do have an opposing view on some of the things you're talking about. You were saying that one side is grossly more corrupt than the other, I would challenge that, and I'm a Democrat.
Okay.
I watched the 2016 election with all the debates that went up to it, and I watched Bernie Sanders, who's the one I supported and voted for. He was shut down by the liberal media on MSNBC, CNN. Every time he brought up universal health care, they asked him, how are you going to pay for it? And they did it over and over and over again, to the point, no, I don't agree. I think they're bought and paid for by their advertisers, Big Pharma.
But that's no. Now you have a problem with capitalism, though. I agree, but you're mad. You've entered into something different. Yes, the for-profit capitalistic media is corrupt. You have a profit with capitalism.
But without them, you can't get elected.
But I'm just saying, I have a problem with for-profit media, 100%. We are watching I think the media is dying off now. For-profit media is becoming, unless you're Fox News, who seems to be growing in power. But on the left, I think we're seeing the decimation of people valuing the for-profit media. But that is, I have a problem with the media, but that's because they are beholden to shareholders. And that is the problem, right? It's about the profit. And they're like, we need to be moderate. We have to stay in the middle. Like, we can't yell the truth. And I was a burner. We were all burners. At least I think the people here were. Yeah. And I didn't like what happened to Bernie Sanders either. But Hillary Clinton, I know you don't like her, but she was a very qualified candidate who wiped the floor with Donald Trump in debate. I love Bernie Sanders. I love him every time he speaks. I get really quiet and I listen.
Yes. Well, yes. And I have to say that the special interest in Washington, all the money that's involved to get these people elected, they spend most of their time trying to raise money instead of doing the people's work.
I go over this all the time. If you look at one side and the work they do, the PACT Act, Veterans Healthcare, the biggest one in decades, infrastructure bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, they have done
all good things.
Yeah,
and
that's what the left does. What does the right do?
The only problem I have with it is the messaging. It did not sink down to the average person.
So they're not corrupt, and they don't have corrupt messaging then, huh?
Well, I'm not saying that all their messaging is corrupt. I'm saying their actions. I'm a person, just to let you know, I have cancer. I'm very affected by what's going on with healthcare. Some of the stuff that's recently happened, I'm sympathetic to.
Sorry to hear that.
Because I've been turned down for procedures. Okay, universal health care, if someone would have ran on that, I believe they would have had a chance at getting elected.
I don't think there's anything that we could have ran that Trump wouldn't have demonized as much as he did everything. You know, like you guys are going to be so poor paying for, they want you to pay for other people's health care. Like, that's what they're saying. They're preaching the opposite, and people were cheering for it. They were preaching that poor people that people with pre-existing conditions pay
personal
more.
Responsibility.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
They don't.
Do you
this
want to pay
communism.
for other people's health care problems, which we do right now? That's what people don't understand.
We're
paying for people without insurance right now.
Would have stuck
they
twice
don't get
as
it
hard.
though.
Would have stuck twice as hard.
I know both of you are really smart, but I want to explain something. I listened to Obama sit down at the big round table with the Republicans for 6 hours, and basically it was like a professor talking to kindergartners, explaining the healthcare plan that he was rolling out. Okay, he settled for that because people were too freaked out by having universal health care.
Wait, hold on. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. He wanted you. It was a single payer healthcare plan. It started as universal healthcare. It was chopped up into pieces by Congress
and the Heritage Foundation,
who are backed by lobbyists. They wouldn't they were funding people in Congress, both Democrats and heavily Republicans, to block the shit out of that bill and not let it through it
wasn't
came
only-
out in its current form. But I'm saying
Wasn't
that's
only Republicans, though.
But I'll agree with you on Obama. Listen, Obama turned out to be a moderate Democrat, which to me is a Republican, right? Like he campaigned on hope. He sounded like a damn socialist, and then it turned out like he was a moderate Republican. And that's kind of, to me, that's the mistake that Kamala made as well, right? Like, I think Kamala is a real progressive. I think Kamala understands universal health care. Her father is a professor emeritus economist at Stanford University. I have his books. I know what she must have been steeped in. And I think once that the billionaire Democratic money starts coming in from big pharma and stuff, you start changing your tune.
Yeah.
And the next Democratic candidate that will win, or we shouldn't even allow another one who's not screaming about universal health care. We are the only developed country in the world without universal health care. We are a third world country. Republican, if Trump was smart, if Trump wanted to grape this country's resources, if Trump wanted to profit and pocket, if he would just give us all health care, we'd probably all be at the doctor not noticing what he was up to.
Yeah, but he's the guy.
We need health care. There's no excuses anymore.
In the debate that I have concepts for a health care plan. That made me so angry. You don't even know. Know.
Hey, we're not taking friendlies for too long. I appreciate you coming up, bro.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take it easy.
All right.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Susan. You're the best. I appreciate it.
Yes,
and
thank you,
John, you're the best. Fish trucker on TikTok. Consider it flowers. Shh.
Hello, Ambu. Hello? Ambu Black Op? He's got his headphones on. He walked away. Yellow? Yellow? Adam?
What's up, man?
What's up, bro? Are you a Trump supporter?
Hold on, I can't hear you. My service is shit.
Test.
Sorry, I'm in my bathroom. Oh, I hear you.
All right. Are you a Trump supporter?
Nah, I'm a friendly man. I just love what you do, dude. I've been with you since you barely hit anybody. I love you, man.
Dude, I appreciate that.
Love what you do.
Let's get Pickles to 400K. We're almost there. Everyone tap the screen.
I always try.
I appreciate you, bro. I hope you have a good night, man.
Thanks, man. You too.
All right. It's a nice little palate cleanser. That was nice.
Everyone is in the bathroom.
Hello?
Yellow?
Yeah. How are you?
What's up, man? I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm Dylan. I am a Trump supporter.
All right. What do you?
But I'm a friendly person. We might see differently, but I'm not someone that wants to yell about my beliefs.
Well, what do you like?
I think conversation is a good. Hang on 1 second. I'm putting my phone on charge. I've been waiting for a minute or two. Hang on. I like a lot of things.
Are almost to 400K. We can do it. Tap, tap, tap. Pickles is worth it. I promise.
All right. I'm here. All right. So there's a lot of things I like about Trump. So I'm from South Alabama. I was raised a little more conservative. I probably don't have the terminology that y'all have, or maybe, I don't know. I might not be as smart as y'all. But there's a lot of things I like about Trump. I've traveled, so I'm a mechanic. I've traveled all around America. I've worked in 37 different states, and I've worked with a lot of blue-collar men just like me. And I think living in America, one of our most important rights that we have is the right to vote. Am I right?
Sure.
I would say, I mean, our right to choose our politicians and choose the path for our country is one of our most sacred things that we get to do.
I 1,000% agree with you, bro.
And I feel like, and I may be wrong about this, but the Electoral College that we have, I don't know why it's like this, and maybe you can shed some light on that, but it's not based off of citizens of the United States. It's based off of the amount of people, including illegal immigrants, that a state has.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like there's these sanctuary cities, and I kind of feel like it's a plot to kind of like wash our vote. You know what I mean? So I feel like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they kind of like opened up our borders. They allowed all the illegal immigrants. And don't get me wrong, I live in Dallas, Texas. So
Same
I
here.
work. You do? Mm-hmm. Okay, I live in Arlington, and I work.
And I'm in Arizona, so we're all in border states.
Yeah, and I worked right outside. You live in Phoenix, I presume? Okay, you know where Globe is? In Miami?
Yep.
Yeah, so I worked at the Asarco Ray Mine, which is
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a reservation. I'm indigenous. I'm Mexican indigenous. Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, so it's owned by Grupo Mexico, and it's actually owned by a cartel family. But anyway, that's a story for another time. I just kind of feel like that was a ploy from the Democratic Party to like wash our vote. You know what I mean?
So
that's what they told you.
This is silly because this is what Texas does. Why would they ship people to other states? Why don't they keep them all and have more red votes?
I mean, most sanctuary cities are in Democratic states, right?
But it's not, you got to understand that Texas does do that. Texas benefits from the immigrants. They have not just the immigrants, but the prisoners. Do you understand that? That Texas runs a for-profit prison slavery system. It's one of the last places. Wait, let me just finish. If you don't like people washing the vote, please understand that the state you are living in famously builds for-profit prisons, stacks people in them, spends as little as possible per prisoner to do exactly what you are complaining about.
Yeah, and Kamala Harris was a lot to do with that in California. She kept...
No, she wasn't. No, she doesn't build for-profit prisons.
Yeah, she kept people out of prison.
No, there was a lot of...
with the First Step program. She literally did. That's what she's famous for among attorney generals, is developing a deterrence what is my thinking of? Not deterrence.
To recidivism, like
what is that word? It starts with a D.
God damn it. I know what you're saying.
Oh my God, I hate when I can't remember words. Chat, please help. What is the word?
Diversion.
Diversion. Yes. Diversion. Yes. Okay, there. Thank God. I cannot stand when I can't remember a word. So like diversion. That's what she's famous for.
Yeah, people who were like young, 18 to 30, I believe, first-time nonviolent offenders. They were given an option to get back in the workplace, like be back in society, and prove they can maintain a job and show up to court and do drug testing or something like every week. And they got their stuff expunged, and you know that was a huge thing. And a lot of states adopted that. Even Texas. Here in Texas, they have that. My friend went through it. They took that idea from Mrs. Kamala.
Hi, Daisy. Sorry, she can't hear me. Forgot you have headphones on, so that was stupid.
Oh, she says that. Chickens.
Oh, for what?
Hi, Pickles, the puppy.
Like the algorithm for what shows up on my Facebook is completely different than y'all's.
Say that again. We can't hear you when you're outside the app, by the way.
Said his algorithm for Facebook is different than ours, and I was just nodding yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is it's hard to tell like what's fake news and what's real news. So a lot of mine was there was a lot during the election going on about how Kamala Harris was extending sentences. I can't really remember what it was for.
And that's not true. None of it. Yeah. No, and that's fine. That's a lot of stuff. There was many things. There was, she's keeping people like who use the devil's lettuce in prison. It's all, if you really dig into it, it's not true. She's literally famous for diversion programs, for helping people stay out of jail. And I get it, because she's a black woman. So think of this way, like, it's one of two things. Like, she comes from two very intelligent, very activist parents who fought the system, right? Who were two minorities who were like, let's fight the system. And then she, there's two schools of thought. It's like, I can fight the system from outside and endeavor to change it, or I can become part of the system and reform it from the inside out. And so, that's essentially what she's trying to do. And there's no wrong way to do it, right? Like, but I mean, that's essentially what Kamala Harris is trying to do. And she actually is one of the most qualified, pedigreed people to ever run for president.
Okay. Well, all right. So getting back to why I like Trump. So pretty much I agree with his immigration policy. I think, for one, I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but sorry. I don't know if I'm wrong for this, but I kind of feel like if we have a country, right, we need to have boundaries and set boundaries for other countries and for other people to come into our country. Like, if you travel to Australia, you have to have a trade or something. You can't just come in their country and moot.
Most countries in the world have the same, like, asylum laws that we do, like all of the developed nations. So, like, this is not like a new idea. Like, we have borders, we have border officers, we have patrol, and would you agree that there's like a point to where, like, it would be like detrimental to a point, like, we could patrol and secure a border to a point that would be like detrimental to us? Like, if we made a border wall out of titanium and like, had a troop every 5 feet, like, that would be too much, right? And then there's like too little. We need to find a balance. We need to find things that work. We need to be pragmatic. And I don't think Trump's border policy is any of that. I think his wall idea is dumb and like, there's parts that you can't even put a wall on. We see people climbing the wall in like 5 seconds. I mean, Home Depot exists. So like, I like all of his things, they fit on bumper stickers. They're not real prescriptions for these problems.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but I really do feel like, so for one, I kind of look at it in more of like a simplistic way. So what kind of makes me angry about the whole immigration thing, you see immigrants that'll come into our country, and if one person, I feel like if one person dies from an illegal immigrant, in which it happens a lot of people have died.
Doesn't.
It does. I mean,
how much?
That's
much
your Facebook algorithm.
Okay. I really don't know how much. I'd have to be able to be in.
See, that's where they got you. You don't know. You don't know how much. How much do we? How many murders do we have every year? How many murders do we have last year?
I'll tell you this. I know how much is too much.
No, you
don't. One.
Let me tell you this. As a woman, I'm more in danger. Listen, let me just be honest. As a woman, statistical correlations of crime, I am more in danger from white males in this country. I am more likely to be unalived in this country by an American citizen who is a white male than an immigrant.
All right. So we have like cancer. We have car crashes. We have like, I don't know, heart disease, and then all the way the fuck down here, we have 29 deaths last year from migrants, and this is what this is all y'all have to run on. This is all you're gonna throw billions of dollars at this when we have all of this other shit that's like no-brainers that we could fix for free. Some of it, like, we could fucking, like, the 17,000 homicides involving guns last year, it's much higher than 29. If one's too many, we can start looking at this one first. 17,000.
Okay. All right, just one topic at a thing and not comparing them, because it's kind of an unfair thing to talk about You know, the number
It's very
What he's
This is
trying
what
to
I'm-
say is there's no statistical correlation between immigration and crime.
And
like
this is
what
what-
you
not
see, they
saying
show
that
you a
there is.
picture of an immigrant hurting a woman and they say this happened and you're like, oh my God, one is too many. Which one is too many? But like how we fight crime, we allocate resources, right? And money to it. And we can never reduce instances of crime to zero. Crime should never happen, right? But what we do is we allocate resources and money and then we lower the statistical correlation, the instances of crime. And what we're saying to you is there is no statistical correlation between immigration and crime. It's that low. If you wanted to protect women, help us protect us from white males who are American citizens.
Okay, yeah, but those are two different topics.
No, but do you care about women? Because I'm just asking, do you care about women being the victims of crime? Because I'm safer in a neighborhood of undocumented immigrants.
Okay.
Statistically, I am safer in a neighborhood of undocumented immigrants than in a neighborhood of American white males.
Okay, all right.
Statistically.
Hang on. All right, so I feel like we're kind of like deferring from the topic. Like
We're using math. We're using math.
No, you're using math that sets to a standard that we're not even talking about. I'm talking about just immigrants and just murders.
Okay.
That's
okay.
it.
29 immigrants committed murders last year. So 29. And hold on. This is my point. When you guys are sitting around, this is when you guys are brainstorming on things that you could run on. When Trump's sitting here going, what can I do to make America better? You guys fucking do this. You're like, oh my God, there's cancer. There's this, there's that. Let's land on fucking migrants because people get extra mad when they get killed by a migrant. Let's run on that. And we're going to fucking use the same like 2 cases in the news for years.
No, that's not all. You just gotta let me finish speaking, and then I'll be able to explain myself. All right, when it comes to immigrants, 1 is too many. I know it's an unrealistic number. I'm not saying that it's not unrealistic.
Okay.
I know that things are going to happen.
Okay, so I hear you saying that if you're an American citizen, you could victimize women and that's fine. And even though the majority of crimes against women, the majority of women being murdered are familial people or people they're in they're romantic partners who are not in fact documented immigrants. And you're like, that's fine. Those people have the right to victimize women in this country, but those 29 people, those are the ones I have a problem with. The rest of the women that are being victimized by American citizen white males, nope. That's fine. They're citizens. They can victimize women if they want. But there are 29 brown people that shouldn't be touching women, and I'm going to hyper focus on that. Please.
No.
Please. You sound nuts. You sound nuts.
You keep interrupting me. I'm saying that you're cross-referencing problems. I'm talking about an immigration problem. I'm not talking about women and their problem with white men.
There is no immigration problem. Like, what's the net negative of the immigration again?
Can I please finish at least one sentence?
Go ahead.
Okay. Immigration and then white men abusing women in the country are 2 different problems. You can't cross-reference them and say I'm a woman hater because I'm explaining that one death.
I never said that. I never said that.
You said I sound nuts.
No, you said one crime against women is too many. And I am telling you that if we are going, I am safer. I would rather be amongst the undocumented immigrants. Statistically, I am safer there. You're not getting it.
Okay,
it's
listen,
safer
I'm gonna do
for
this
me
for you.
to be amongst them than to be amongst white males in America who are citizens.
Get one sentence out. Like, y'all will not let me talk. None at all. We can't debate if I can't finish my idea.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. If America, let's do it this way. America is my house, right? All of a sudden, everybody in my house, that's America. If one person breaks into my home and kills a family member that is close to me, that's too many. And I'm talking about just in immigration, not saying that women and that's a different problem. I don't think it's unrealistic to have perfect expectations and to fall short of that. But to not have perfect expectations and to keep falling short of a perfect expectation is a problem. I think we need a whole reform on immigration.
A whole reform.
I think that a whole reform. Yes,
I mean, we do, but not in the ways you think.
If the expectation of illegal immigrants should be zero,
no,
getting into our country.
No, that's like something you say at a sermon.
Heart. You need to listen and let people educate you on crime statistics.
Let me show you something. This is going to explain to you crime statistics. Okay, here is a room full of U.S. citizens, and here's a room full of non-citizens. If I'm going to go live in one of these rooms, which one is safer?
I don't care which room is safer.
Okay,
that's not the point.
You do. This room's safer. This room is 4 times safer, actually. 4 times safer.
Okay, that's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to.
No, we heard your point. You're repeating the same point that means nothing over and over. Let me just explain something. We can never, in any category of crime, if it's rape, if it's theft, if it's home invasion, we can never reduce instances of crime to zero. It is impossible because they're random and unplanned. But if we see huge statistical correlations where we know, hey, we have this huge problem in this area, then we concentrate resources to lower that number. We can never reduce it to zero because crime's random. We can never know where it's going to pop up. But we can allocate resources to it. And we're saying there were 29 unalivings done by undocumented people. By the standards of schmurder in this country, that is next to nothing. We can't, it's like whack-a-mole. We don't know when just a couple crimes may happen. We can't predict them. This is not Minority Report. Okay, we're not precogs, so some crime is going to happen. But and where we need to allocate resources when it comes to things like schmurder it's next to nothing when it comes to immigrants or to undocumented immigrants.
Okay.
But there will always be random instances. We cannot lower it to zero.
You will increase crime per capita crime by deporting immigrants. In fact, you would decrease crime per capita if you let a bunch of immigrants in.
Why is that?
Think about people who are here that are non-citizens. So they're one contact with the government away from being deported. So you're not going to steal a fucking stick of gum. You're definitely not going to unalive somebody. Like, you're going to fly under the radar. Some people do it for 20, 30, 40 years. Don't commit any crimes. That's how they have to live.
Okay, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You would decrease crime per capita because there'd be more people.
There'd be more people and less criminal people.
But you can't, if they are here illegally, then they're already committing a crime.
It's the same thing as like people speeding. So
therefore,
it's the same thing as speeding.
Less crime per capita.
No, that's a different crime, though, which is a misdemeanor. You don't understand. First of all, let me help you. Wait, hold on. Let me help you on something because you're confused. You're talking about 2 different buckets of people because even in those 29 you're talking about undocumented people, these are also asylum seekers because you're confused. You think anyone here who's not an American citizen is here illegally. They're not. Because of international treaties. Wait, let me help you. Because of international treaties, right? And asylum laws, anybody that sets their feet on US soil who's not a citizen can legally claim asylum. You don't like them here, but they are allowed to claim asylum and at that point go through the asylum process. They're not necessarily here what you call illegally. I just want to make that clear. They're undocumented.
I understand.
Not legal, right? If you set on U.S. soil, you're allowed to claim asylum.
I understand that. It's people that sneak across the border who don't claim asylum.
Okay, but again, those people are also asylum seekers when they're caught, when they're encountered by Border Patrol, they're still allowed to claim asylum. I just want to be clear on that. And I just want to be clear, it's not a felony, just so you know. Sneaking into the United States is not a felony. It's a misdemeanor.
I thought about renouncing my citizenship and then trying to sneak back over here and seek asylum.
Yeah.
Catch out some of those benefits they get.
Yeah. You'd get a work
Report
permit.
back
You'd
on
get a
that.
work.
Film it.
You'd get a work permit in 180 days, and then they would give you nothing, and you'd be back to work.
I don't know.
Because people demand that you reset your gift goal so people can give you gifts.
All right. So I'm gonna make you an offer. Pretend like you are a country, okay? And there's this big group of people here. We're gonna have 12 million people, and these people will add in 10 years. They'll add about $8.9 trillion to our GDP. They're going to work at our farms. They're going to fill roughly 6% of our I think 4.4% of our jobs. They're going to make the market more liquid with like the job market, more flexible. They're 80% more likely to become entrepreneurs. They commit crime, property crime at 1/3 the rate, and then violent crime at 1/4 the rate. And what you've got to do is basically nothing. Sound like a good deal?
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I mean, okay. I don't think immigration is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it needs to be done differently than the way it's done now.
We agree with that. We agree with that statement totally, Dylan. We need to encourage people. We don't need to demonize. And deporting costs too much money, right? What we need to do is give people work visas. We need to document people, and we need to give them work visas because we have these. Like he just showed you that's real life. They are contributing a huge amount to our economy. Not only that, Dylan, they're paying into our Social Security and Medicare. They're helping you retire. They're helping me retire.
$97 billion.
And they're
I forgot to mention there's $97 billion in it for you.
I'm not saying that immigration is bad. The country was founded on immigration. There are a lot more things that I hate worse than an immigration. That was just the first topic I put.
This is okay. So this is what I always compare it to.
I feel like
this is it's like speeding, right? Speeding can kill people. If you're speeding recklessly, you could hurt somebody. You can hurt the people in the people passenger, with you.
Yeah.
You could do property crime with a vehicle. So there's people right now speeding. Right outside my house, there's people speeding. There's probably dozens, thousands of them right now, and I don't stay awake at night, like wondering, like when are we gonna finally hire more policemen so we can catch every single one of these speeding people? Like I don't give a fuck. Like in fact, I hope more people will get away with speeding. I don't care. I am horrible. So I speed all the time. I have more speeding tickets than anybody I know. But it's just to say, like, there's a point where, like, you're enforcing these things and you just don't really know why. You're just like, you have this racket of just like, well, they're here illegally. That's it.
And you're a Republican. You're supposed to be small government guy. You're supposed to be, we don't need government. We don't need enforcement. Leave everyone alone. States' rights. Like,
yeah. That's my point. So, like, but I still believe that my government should be over, like, main things like our military, our borders, and pretty much that's basically it. And I don't even feel like we should pay income taxes because I think that was started in World War II.
Yeah. We've heard the same exact line every time. Dude, how are we going to pay for this giant military we amassed, that the right wing amassed, the $1.3 trillion?
You understand what the military budget is?
How are we going to do that?
Ridiculous.
You
we
guys
have
keep
to
cutting
spend
taxes.
$35 million a year on Viagra for people in the military.
We keep cutting
gotta pay
taxes, and you guys keep growing the military. I don't get it. The military is so big. You call us spenders. This is y'all, dude. The green, that's all y'all. And what we've managed to get out of this whole negotiation the last 200 something years is this. That's it. You guys have this, and we have this.
I can't read that over there. What does it say?
Unemployment, labor, international affairs.
It says communism. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
To the right. I can't see what the green thing says. My thing covers
green is military.
That's the military.
I get it. Okay. And that's how much?
$1.14 trillion a year.
1.14?
Yeah. How are we going to pay for that? We stopped paying income taxes.
Elon Musk.
What the hell?
Elon Musk.
Can you, Greg, do you grasp, like, think about it. Elon Musk has $400 billion. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has $400 billion. I don't think you grasp how much 1.1 trillion is.
I get it, but he has projected, and Elon Musk is one of the smartest men in the world, if not the smartest. He's
Okay, wow. Hold on. Absolutely not. That is not true. Elon Musk inherited he's a Nepo baby. That is the biggest lie ever told. You think Elon Musk is an inventor? Tesla, there were real people who invented that technology, and Elon Musk used the hundreds of millions of dollars he inherited from daddy and bought it. If you're Elon Musk is not an engineer. He does not write code. He is not who you think you're not correct.
He engineered.
All you need, listen. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Say he was an engineer.
Okay, but I'm telling you, yeah. So the technology that was developed for Tesla, he bought it from real engineers,
Tesla,
from real
SpaceX.
scientists. Okay,
he built.
Yeah, that's not his.
rocket.
Are you? Yeah.
By hand,
No, he didn't. He had scientists build a rocket.
No,
Are you
he did
joking
not.
me?
He
You think that
engineered-
he's a No, he did not, Dylan.
Yes,
You
he
have
did.
no idea what you're talking about. This is the saddest moment of my life. Like,
it is not.
wow.
Elon did not
This is
build
why
rockets by hand. What?
This is why the Red Pill Bros worship this man. Anybody with capital can buy technology and capitalism. Anyone. You think Elon Musk builds rockets? That's what you think he's doing?
Elon Musk built
He's
a house
South
with 4
African
nails.
Nepo baby.
It's Elon Musk is the chief designer and overseer of SpaceX rockets. He designed them because when he started SpaceX, he could not get a good enough engineer because nobody would leave NASA or any other.
Dylan, that is not true, and that is the saddest thing. Dylan, do you understand how long you have to go to school to be a rocket scientist? The fact that you believe that
my
Elon
God.
Musk built rockets is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my actual life.
Google it. Google if he designed his own rocket. Google it. Look up, did Elon Musk engineer his rocket?
Elon
Yes,
Musk is the
Elon
chief designer
Musk.
at SpaceX, oversees the development of rockets and spacecraft. Musk learned about rockets by reading college texts on rocket propulsion, collaborating on spreadsheet-level systems, designs, absorbing knowledge from others. Here are the rockets that Musk did. Where is this from? Computerhistory.org. First privately developed liquid rocket fuel to reach orbit. Here's some of the rockets that Falcon 1, Falcon 9, a partially reusable medium
Yeah,
lift
do you
launch.
understand that he employs actual rocket science to do the math and the physics?
Yeah, but he did.
Okay,
he
so do you
designed it.
understand the difference between saying I employ rocket scientists to design rockets and then I approve those designs? You do understand the difference, right?
But
that he
didn't
is
do
not
that.
any
That's what I'm
way
trying to tell you.
capable.
I've done the research. He did not do that. He would not hire a bad rocket engineer, so he studied on rockets himself and designed it
Okay,
himself.
I can't help you if you
He might-
really don't get it. I can't help you if you really
Okay,
don't get it.
we'll give it to him that he's had a large part to play in the rockets, but a
He
lot
is
of
smart. That is the point. I've never built a rocket. He's obviously smarter than me.
Listen, the thing is, his opinion
He
on
didn't.
politics is something entirely different. Can you
He
agree?
employs engineers
Can
and
you-
rocket
can you
scientists
agree
to
that
design
smart
rockets.
I don't
people
even
can
care about
can
his
have bad?
political views.
Do
I
you
have
believe?
to argue with y'all before I can even finish getting the point
Okay.
across.
Okay, but Elon Musk isn't all knowing with his knowledge in our government and in his view on politics. He's off his rocker, and if you even listen to him and put critical thinking and employ it for like 3 seconds, you'll realize that he's talking about cutting your Social Security, your Medicare. He's talking about cutting all of that shit. And he's got, you know what? He's got subsidies himself. He's received about $20 billion worth of subsidies. Do you think he's going to cut those subsidies for himself?
I have no doubt in my mind that Elon Musk doesn't have some selfish tendencies about working for our government in the way that he's going to do. I know that some of it is going to be selfish. But, however, I do believe that we need to reform some of our government. I think there's like 302.
Let me give you an example of Elon Musk being selfish. And you tell me, wait, no, let me just give you one example of it. Let me just tell you an example. This man's trying to award himself billions of dollars of government contracts. Okay. Did he also design Starlink, or do you believe that scientists are responsible for Starlink? Or do you think Elon Musk invented Starlink? Okay. So anyways, we've done impact studies on the best way to deliver high-speed internet to rural areas in America, because to lift people out of poverty, we need high-speed internet. And that's laying cable. That's laying fiber cables in the ground. That's the best way. Scientists have studied it to have high-speed internet in rural areas. And you know what Elon Musk said? Oh, we don't need those cables. Let's just cancel that and all use Starlink. When we know, scientists know, he's already tried to capture those government contracts and has been denied them, because Starlink, while in wartime, if there's nothing better, because the internet is down because of war, maybe having slow satellite internet is good, but it's not better than laying fiber cable. And because he is a capitalist, he wants to not do the best thing for the American people, but take that government contract.
Okay. Can you do me a favor real quick? Real fast, since you can Google stuff and show it on the screen, see what the data rate is on Starlink.
It is slow. There are studies on it. It's slower than laying fiber cable.
It's 300 down, 150 up. I have terabyte up and down.
Okay. Well, where I live in Dallas, I don't have internet, and I stream Fortnite for my kid on 250 megabytes. And it would stream on 150. So that's pretty freaking fast to be in a rural area.
You're saying deny rural people the best internet they could have that's the most cost effective, so Elon Musk can get a government contract.
How much are you paying for Starlink?
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that.
How much is Starlink? Do you have it?
Okay, then stop.
No, I'm not saying that.
Do you have it?
No, I don't have Starlink.
I bet it's not. It's got to be hundreds. I think I pay $70 a month for terabyte.
Look up, Google it. You got all the Googles right there. Google how much Starlink is. I mean, I know nothing about Starlink. I've never studied on it. I know I can see it go over Dallas every once in a while.
Even talking about the price, I'm talking about impact studies that have been done by scientists, and the best way to bring the fastest internet to rural areas of America is in fact laying fiber.
What does it say?
120 a month to 135 to 500.
So
about double, almost a little under double.
Yeah. All right. So
we should all pay double for our internet because Dylan loves Elon Musk.
That doesn't work in cloudy weather.
Let me finish my statement. Now, look up how much it costs to lay 1 mile of fiber optic cable.
That's okay. This is point of service. You're talking about point of service here.
Yeah,
if you want to do that, we can calculate how much it costs to put a satellite into space.
Well,
yeah, it has nothing to do, and the upkeep of it. No, and I just need to say, every time Elon Musk goes to a third world country and that's what's happening. Every time someone signs up for Starlink, it's slowing down. That's what the impact study is about. So we have to keep adding more and more and more satellites. That's the problem. Once we lay the cable, it's there.
I'm not an Elon Musk lover. Y'all just keep shooting me down rabbit holes before I can make my point, because I say something that y'all don't like, and then we shoot off on Elon Musk being...
God forbid it rains or cloudy, then Starlink doesn't work. But let's not talk about that. That satellite only works in clear weather.
We're still talking about satellites. I don't give a shit about fucking satellites. What I care about is during COVID, there's 302 buildings in Washington that our government is paying for, lights, water, and electricity, and plus the lease on the building that weren't even used. Why don't we just cut those out? All the employees are working at home.
What are you talking about?
Sure. Things like that. Yes, but what we see right now is Trump enacting this thing called Project 2025. That's what he's doing right now. And in Project 2025, he talks about reclassifying employees to Schedule F to where he can replace them all with Trump loyalists, just like he did with his whole cabinet. You see, none of them are qualified for their jobs. They're just billionaires and sexual offenders that will say yes to whatever he says.
Okay. What do you not want him to say yes to?
When Trump says, "Hey, maybe
men that abuse women,"
or like
What?
the last.
What does that even mean?
Okay.
Men that beats women?
Yes, because yes, one of the qualifiers for his picks is people who are sexual abusers. But I'm talking about people who would, I'd say, like when he pressured Mike Pence to pause certification of the election, people like Vance who will say yes, who has said who will say yes. People who, like Bill Barr, tried to get the DOJ to sign a letter saying the election was stolen when it wasn't, when they had no evidence of that.
Okay, this is 4 years ago. I'm talking about currently.
Oh, you're asking me for things. This is the most relevant thing I could think of. His 4 years ago, when he was in the same position he's about to be in, what would he do? I'm talking about this. This is exactly relevant. This is parallel.
Okay. All right. I think that he made bad cabinet choices in the last go round, actually. And I don't.
Thank you. Wait, the last go around?
Yes.
You mean he chose people that would not do what he wanted. They gave him real advice and they pushed back. And this time he's installing loyalists who are completely unqualified for the position. Dylan, do you know who I like to call him John Phelan. His name is John Phelan. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. John Phelan is a man, a very rich man, hundreds of millions of dollars, who gave Trump millions of dollars to get elected. John Phelan is going to run the Navy. Do you want to know what John Phelan's the qualifications to run the Navy are? You need to have relevant experience. John Phelan has never been in the Navy. He's never been in the Army. He's never been in the Coast Guard. He's never been on a boat other than a yacht. John Phelan is a rich art collector who places trades for Michael Dell. He ran a 4-person office that placed trades for Michael Dell, the billionaire computer guy of Dell Computers, and gave Trump millions. And Donald Trump is going to have him run one of the largest branches of our military, responsible for defending our interests in the South China Sea. I don't think you understand how negligent what Donald Trump is doing truly is. This man has never ran more than a 4-person office. He has never been in the military, and he is going to run the Navy.
Okay. I don't know anything. You said his name's John Phelan?
Yeah, Phelan. Phelan. That's just one example of what Donald Trump is doing.
Herschel Walker.
Right, but nobody. All right. I've met.
Don't blow over it and admit that that's egregious. Dylan, you like the military. You're from Alabama. Hoorah. Admit that that's ridiculous.
Okay. I'll put it into perspective.
Is that ridiculous, though, that to have a man who's never been in the military, knows nothing about the Navy, to run the Navy?
You have to let me finish talking.
No, just answer my question. Can you just answer the question and be honest? Is it ridiculous?
Because I can't say that because I don't know what he's like as a person.
You're kidding me. You think someone that's never been in the military has no idea anything about the military?
You're flipping through resumes and you stop on this guy and be like, I wonder what he's like. No.
Come on. Dylan, I liked you for a minute, but you get very disingenuous. Yeah. Well, it's egregious.
Keep going back and forth so much in between topics. It's hard to keep up. My brain is not that fast. And y'all talk both at the same time very fast, and it makes me fumble my words. I'm not very good at getting words from my brain to my mouth and making.
I'm going to go get some Starburst. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't necessarily choose that person myself. But I have no doubt that the people I feel like Donald Trump is a very intelligent person. I feel like Donald Trump can be a very good judge of character. Personally, I feel like he could be. He might not always say the right thing, and he is hated by a lot of people, and that makes it hard for him to get anything done. And I don't like that about Donald Trump.
Okay, so you said he's a great judge of character.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever just like take a step back and you were to ever look at some of the things that he done in life and some of the things, all right, you're talking about not being qualified for a job. If you can look back, and one of the people that he chose to build one of his skyscrapers was an underqualified woman to build his skyscraper. And he hired her. And she done a hell of a job, ran the whole job and built an amazing skyscraper. I think it was the Trump Tower. I think it was a woman that he hired.
Yeah, he also ripped off hundreds of Polish undocumented workers building the Trump Tower. Didn't pay any of them.
We're not talking about people that he's ripped off. We're talking about his judge of character in a leadership position.
Okay. So he had a 90.
Being people off is about your character.
He had a 92% turnover in his last administration. He went through fucking like 4 secretaries of defense. He couldn't choose the right person for the job at all. You just went through that. Like he's historically chosen horrible people, and like even his own vice president's not backing him. He's turned out to be a rhino.
A rhino. What does that mean?
I don't know. It changes every day.
Republican in name only is what it stands for. It's what MAGA calls people who have morals that are Republicans.
Well, yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Well, okay. Like, do you know who Mitt Romney is?
I've heard that name.
Do you know who Lindsey Graham is? Do you know who Mitch McConnell is?
No. I probably know some of these things these people have done, but I don't know their names.
Okay.
I'm just worried. Like, what are you so scared that Donald Trump is going to do? Like, what's your number one fear? That heaven forbid Donald Trump does this and everything will go to a disaster.
He's going to crash our economy, cause stagflation.
How do you think that?
When he does his tariffs, we have economists that have projected that he'll just cause stagflation by the end of 2025. We even have our own treasury projecting not reversing the interest rates like they were supposed to next year. They were supposed to reduce them by a few more half percentage points. They no longer think this is going to happen because of Trump's incoming policies. We also see a bunch of people.
That's why the stock market crashed today, Dylan. Did you not know that?
So like,
no, I worked 16 hours on an excavator.
So
today, I don't have it.
Like countries like China are already like in angry talks about the new trade things Trump is proposing. They've already banned the export of like gallium and a few other rare minerals that we need to make microchips. They've banned that. Like, he's already creating trade wars. And same thing with with Canada and Mexico. They're both very upset with Trump's talks of tariffs, which was his whole plan for the economy. His whole plan was to cut everybody's taxes and replace them with tariffs. Now, depending on who you ask, who I'm debating, the tariffs are either not going to happen or they're not bad.
Okay. So you're worried that it's going to cause more inflation. I don't know what stagnant inflation is, but inflation is inflation, right? I guess.
You don't want to. So basically,
inflation is the rate at which prices rise.
Yeah, I know what inflation is. I don't know what stagnant inflation. I don't know that term. What is that standing for?
We'll look it up for you.
Look,
stagflation.
I can tell you this, Dylan, because you like to talk about immigration. What Trump ran on was these mass deportations, just those alone. Right. I could show you mathematical equations and data that say just the mass deportations will send us into a recession, almost double like the effect of the Great Depression. Just those alone. There's a bipartisan joint economic report that came out 2 days ago, which is economists doing math and just saying, hey, and we're not even talking about, Trump's talking about deporting 20 million people. The real number, of undocumented immigrants is somewhere around 13.5. They're just saying, hey, if it's even 8.3, we're going to have almost double of what happened, a recession of what happened in the Great Depression. If it's just 1.1 million, our economy is going to crash.
And so the stagflation is basically like checkmate. So like in order to reduce inflation, you have to increase the interest rates, which decreases employment. So in order so bringing down inflation also brings down employment, and bringing down unemployment also increases inflation. So it's like they both just pile on each other.
Yeah. The more you have to charge for the product to pay the people you have. That's why when unemployment goes down, you have more people to pay, right? That would be the only way I know that those two conflict each other.
No, so like when you increase interest rates, you slow down the trade of commodities, which slows down the trade of money. It slows down the economy, so people start buying less things, and it makes the value of the dollar go up, but it also, if you do it too hard, it increases unemployment. So unemployment goes up, and what you have to do is do things to decrease unemployment, which would increase inflation.
Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. The more things cost, the less people spend.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Another thing, printing money increases inflation. Government spending, I guess, increases. So another thing that increases, government spending would increase inflation.
Don't stop at printing money. The question is more, why are we printing money, Dylan? Like, that's always what Republicans tell you. Oh, the Fed's just printing money, and that causes inflation. But the question is not.
That's not the only thing.
It's why do we print money? When you get that answer, you'll understand that you shouldn't vote for conservative policies. It's why would we be printing money? Because all the money is concentrated. We have to either we recirculate the money that's trapped at the top of the economy, or we have to print it. 60% of the wealth in this country is literally being transferred through unrealized capital gains.
This is what Trump spent versus what Biden spent. If you think government spending causes inflation, Trump's your guy.
Non-COVID?
So non-COVID's 4.8 trillion. The CARES Act COVID was 3.6. Biden's non-COVID was only 2.2. And his other COVID plan was 2.1. So combined, still less than what Trump spent non-COVID. And if you want to talk about
for everything,
and if you want to talk about who printed more money, it's Trump. Trump printed $5 trillion, and Biden printed $1.5 trillion.
Okay, when was all the money that's non-COVID?
What is
Trump spent way more of COVID and non-COVID. Trump drove our economy into the ground with his spending.
That's what I want to see.
There you go. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, $1.9 trillion. Bipartisan Budgets Act, 2018 2019, $2.1 trillion. That was when he beefed up the military. Health executive actions, other legislation. His tariffs brought in $443 billion. The CARES Act, that was COVID, $1.9 trillion. Response and Relief Act, that was also probably COVID, 983. Other COVID relief, 758. Yeah.
Isn't that weird that people are always saying Democrats spend so much, but Trump literally spent more than anyone? It's not true.
Oh shit, I gotta change my goal. And Dylan, we've had you for like 50 minutes, man. I think we're gonna get to the next guest soon. Is there anything you want to say?
I gotta go to bed. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Sorry to take up so much of y'all's time. But it was good talking.
It's kind of attractive that you spend 16 hours a day on an excavator. I do love a blue collar worker, and I followed you.
Yeah, I drive a big ass service truck too, with a crane on it. It's sexy as shit. You'd love it.
Raise the roof. Yeah. Nice to meet you, Dylan.
You too.
But I can say something nice to someone.
Yeah. Watch
I'm
out,
a nice
ladies.
person. You guys don't know. It just seems like I'm not. I really am nice. When I saw that, I'm not. I am toxic. That's true.
You're nice, Felice. Hi, Pickles. I'm back.
Hello. Welcome back.
Almost to 500K.
I know. Let's go. You guys know I'm coming up here to do my thug pizzle. My thug fizzle. Let's get Pickles and Felice up to 500K. And do all the things like, share, subscribe, and also join our Discord. We do have game night now, and we do also have movie night and a book club. We are the coolest Discord around. Just go ahead and click the link in his bio and join us, because we're the cool kids on TikTok.
That's right. You fucking heard it here first, baby. It's right here, chat, in my link tree. Accept the invite. Get on in here.
What you say? Go on, get.
And go on, get in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alrighty, so I'll take care of Beth. I guess she's still muted, but I'll unmute her now. The other thing, Felice, that I was talking to someone about the other day when they bring up immigration, because a prosecutor testified before the committee, and Pickles, go ahead and bring somebody up. I'm drop right after this. And he's a prosecutor, and he came here when he was 3, and he's still undocumented. People are not understanding that he said criminals and their families. So you're talking about your doctors, your nurses, your professionals. You know, what are we going to do if they're getting deported as well? You know,
I saw that guy testify too. What a brilliant man he was.
Awesome.
Is. No, absolutely. And I just invite anyone, like, this is for MAGA. You just need to do the math. Like, they released a report to help you with the math. We are shooting ourselves in the foot if we do this. We're not punishing anyone but ourselves.
Yep. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can say you're Gardner. I mean, I traveled during COVID, and they couldn't clean your hotel rooms couldn't get cleaned. They didn't have the staffing. Like, you guys are not thinking. But anywho, that was my vent for the night. I'll see you in the chat.
People are saying the Discord link is broken, or I saw someone say that in your chat.
Chat, if you think if the Discord link looks broken, try copy pasting it into the browser or hit up Story. I do have a customized link. It's discord.com/picklesggs. If you guys can
Someone
remember,
just had the nerve to say to me, Felice is so pretty, but I'm not liking the hair. I have hair down to my waist, and I took a shower. I have curly hair. I'm part black, part indigenous Mexican. I have wild curly hair, and it's soaking wet, and it takes hours and hours to dry. And if you have curly hair, you know, I had to put a ton of product in it, because when it's wet, that's when you start fighting the frizz. So I'm sorry that you don't like the way my hair looks right now, but you're just going to have to suffer through it.
What's up, Smokey? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
What do you like about Trump?
I like his new hairdo, and he got rid of the tanner, it looks like.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's a little less orange.
I think he is. He's stepping up his game, and I'm a Trump supporter. I'm actually pretty stoked to see this.
I gotta see this. It looks like fake rattan, surprise difference. I don't know, man.
Type in Trump's new haircut and then click on images. There should be a side by side. Scroll down a little. Yeah, there it is.
This is just after a day.
Is beautiful. That's the nicest compliment.
I think it's just after taking his hat off. I don't know.
Looks like a little slick back.
My favorite is like when the hair transplant doctors like do analysis. Have you ever seen that on like the different surgeries he's gotten on his head? That's scary.
Yeah. Oof. Anyway, what do you really like about Trump?
I don't know. My life was just better during that time. I was able to purchase 2 homes during that time, and I know it's always a thing where people say that's not due to the president, but I feel like Yeah, go ahead.
I would just say that, like, presidents can do things to affect the economy, and they can do things to help out certain industries. I wouldn't say the housing market is one of the things Trump helped. I think he hurt it big time. One of the big things he did was he revised the Dodd-Frank Act, which is the thing that we use to stop people from doing the 2008 market crash again. And he also wrote an executive order that deregulated the housing market. So, like, now you're competing with a bunch of investors to the tune of 20% now. They used to only have a 10% representation in the market for single-family homes. Now they're at 20 since Trump did all that.
Do you think that the first-time home buyer thing that Kamala was talking about, where she was going to do the 20,000?
No, but you said I bought 2 homes. So do you understand that Obama helped you do that and not Trump? And Trump has made it harder for people to buy homes. You don't brush over the point he made, because that's huge. If you value Trump because you think he allowed you to buy your home, you need to understand that was Obama, and Trump has made it harder for people to now buy homes. That's what he's telling you. And he's right.
Well, I think part of the thing was, though, too, was, I mean, it was just a timing issue as well, because once COVID hit, I mean,
it wasn't. No, it was deregulation. It's not a timing issue.
The housing market.
What's that?
What do you mean? What a COVID? I mean, COVID was a pandemic that hurt everyone. But what happened in the housing market was corporations buying up inventory.
Yeah, like BlackRock.
Yeah, and Trump helped to deregulate and do that. That's what we're trying to tell you. So if you place value on, hey, my life was better because of homes, that was Obama. And Trump has made it harder for people Trump's to buy homes.
I hate BlackRock. I hate all these big companies. Like, hey, boys, you guys got donations? I'll deregulate everything for you. That's what he's doing.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Well, that makes shout out Obama, dude.
No, that's Trump. That's what Trump did. But yeah, Obama was the good guy, yeah.
Shout out Obama, dude. But as far as the 20,000, do you guys think that was a good thing that would help people out?
Yes, so
that's a great point, KJ. Trump also put tariffs on lumber, so it was more expensive to build houses under Trump. Thank you, KJ. What a great point.
That coupled with deporting migrants is going to make the housing industry skyrocket. I think they said like 7% increase in homes. That's pretty good. That's pretty big. But Kamala's thing was gonna help people get into houses. So like people who just went through the pandemic, who might have a great credit score, but drained their bank account staying afloat. Maybe those people who just like want to start generational wealth. Those are the people she's trying to help. And that would also incentivize new builders to build new homes, creating more inventory, creating a downfall in the price in the market.
Just on the price of the home, then, yeah, but interest rates at that point do what?
They're not bad right now.
So that's kind of the downfall, right? Because you have the hike in the price of the home, and your interest rates they're going nowhere. You know,
they're going down. They were supposed to go down.
I saw the Fed cut today at what? They're trying to, the Fed cut was...
They cut by a quarter point. The reason the stock market crashed is because of Trump's tariffs and the forecast, they're projecting 2 less quarter point cuts next year during the first year of Trump's presidency.
Right.
Because inflation is more bullish, right, than they thought it would be, and because of the tariffs they're forecasting, they're projecting less, like lower, or 2 less cuts, which means money will be more expensive than they previously forecasted. So the stock market crash.
Okay, so the fact that the interest rates skyrocketed underneath Biden means what?
It's because of COVID crashing the economy.
They don't skyrocket. They held them high.
Yeah. Interest rates
to lower inflation.
Interest rates are a tool. So interest rates weren't a result of inflation. They were something to decrease inflation. That they were a response to inflation.
And the response to inflation, do you guys believe was strictly due to COVID, or are you guys saying that this was Donald Trump?
Well, no, yeah, the drivers of inflation. Well, take him. We can. I can.
Yeah,
there's several drivers of inflation.
There's a lot of things that caused inflation. The peak of it was at 2023 when it hit 9%. We are now back down to 2.6. Prices aren't. That doesn't mean prices are going to go down. That means the acceleration in which they're going up has reduced. So we are now at target inflation. We do not want lower than 1.5% inflation. We're at 2.6. We're in the Goldilocks zone. So there's nothing you can really do to lower inflation right now. And in fact, Trump is the person responsible for making gas prices go up. He did this thing called the OPEC 2020 deal. He negotiated with the Saudis to reduce our daily production of oil by 10 million barrels a day. I think it was 9.7, and which is, in perspective, we drill about 13.2 as a nation. So he decreased the world market between the dates of April 2020 and March 2022, which is, if this is a graph of the price of gas per gallon, this right here is April 2020, and where that big hike is, that big blue hike, that's Trump, and this dot right here is the end, March 2022.
That's when the OPEC deal ended and when inflation immediately began falling. And then the other drivers are the Ukraine war and a breakdown of the supply chain. And then due to COVID, huge shortages in labor, particularly dock workers.
See, and this is without me going on and being able to. Well, I could, but this is. Well,
we're really smart. That is what it is. It's labor shortages specifically around dock workers that's affected the supply chain. The actual breakdown of the global supply chain due to the Ukraine war and the pandemic, and it started with Trump. Well, it started first with the tariffs Trump put on, then the OPEC deal. Inflation went straight through the roof at that point. Once he did that, inflation started rising, and then you can see the day in 2022 when it started falling.
If I think,
and that's why we have to hold interest rates high while we ironed out the supply chain issues, while we fixed the labor shortages, while we waited for Trump's shitty OPEC deal to expire. We held interest rates high to try and control inflation as much as possible. It's a tool to control inflation, at which inflation is the rate at which prices rise.
Just thinking back, I based off of just memory of okay, if I can remember 4 years ago, what the shutdown of the pipeline is just boom, instantly. In my mind, I thought that's when it was within days that gas prices skyrocketed.
Let me ask you, what day did the pipeline shut down?
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm going off of memory. I don't even know. 2019,
Judge Brian Morris shut down the pipeline. That's Trump. And then 2020, the Supreme Court upheld the decision Brian Morris made. That's when the pipeline stopped, and it was only 8% complete. It was carrying Canadian oil. It was not our oil. It was mostly tar sands, which makes plastic. But even if it wasn't, they could put whatever they want through that pipeline. The thing is, it wasn't our oil, and it was meant to be refined at the Gulf Coast and then exported. It wasn't even supposed to be done by the end of 2023, so it had no way, it had no impact on prices, even if it were to be completed until 2023. It didn't do anything, dude. But the native people and environmental activists sued this pipeline because it was going through lands that were contested.
Right. I do remember that. Yeah. So I don't even. Yeah, the judge. Okay, so that's because that's the Republican Party? Then is that why you're saying it's Trump, or is that?
I don't even care that it's gone. Biden has approved so many more things. It doesn't even matter. That pipeline's worthless to us. They were going to pay some rent for it to run through our land. That's it.
Oh man, I've been snubbed, dude. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a lose-lose at this point. I feel like it's just government is government. I feel like we're screwed either way at this point. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Both sides the argument. Like, we are all trapped in a life raft. Like, you know, who has our money? Our billionaires, the donor class, the 1%. They are robbing us blind. So what we need to do is to take our money back, right? We have to tax the money or regulate, incentivize people at the top of the economy to recirculate money in the economy, right? There are answers, right? There are ways to fix it. We just have to we first probably should get money out of politics, because we have billionaires like Elon Musk putting $277 million into an election, and then we have no chance. So first we need to end Citizens United, probably get money out of politics. And then we have to regulate capitalism. We have to incentivize corporations and the extremely rich to do the right thing.
What do you think about Trump just straight up tweeting, like truthing? He's like, hey, if you have $1 billion and you want to come do business here in America, we'll give you fucking green tape all the way through, environmental stuff, all regulations, don't worry about it. How do you feel about him whoring us out like that, man?
It's a toss-up for me. I don't know. I feel like if you can bring business back into the country and provide the people here, you know, jobs. I mean, it's hard to say. But the way
can't bring business. That's not true. Do you understand why we don't manufacture in America and how globalization works?
But yeah,
exactly right.
This is what Biden did. He said, hey, if you guys want to make microchips or EVs or battery, like biomanufacturing, heavy industry, clean power, if you want to make those things, we'll give you like a tax write-off.
Right.
And it's not going to hurt people and put toxic ash into our waterways. It's not going to drill into federal lands. It's like all of these things to make jobs here. This map right here, these are all the jobs that he created like that. Meanwhile, we have Trump whoring us out on Twitter.
When it comes to the microchips, do you think it was benefited? Like, what happened with Intel recently? The mass layoff of Intel, like the microchip bit, you know, speaking to someone that worked for Intel, like, what do you think happened there? Because there's an increase going on, but it's like there's a mass layoff.
So AI has cut out a lot of jobs in the tech industry, bro. And China banning like gallium and those other like rare minerals that we need to make microchips, that probably didn't help it either because of what Trump is doing.
So
that
it's
was
just
like last Tuesday.
What you just said, or the layoff?
What I just said.
Yeah, the layoff happened, I think, 2 months ago.
I don't know.
Your question is, why did Intel lay people off 2 months ago?
Well, it's not just like a small amount. It was a mass layoff.
Yeah, but that's what they do. I mean, did they do stock buybacks? Do you know how many times corporations make huge profits, do stock buybacks, and lay people off? I mean, that could literally just be to consolidate profits for shareholders. I don't know.
Yeah, they wanted to save $10 billion
do it all the
in
time.
spending. Yeah, they just wanted to consolidate profits.
They just did it for the shareholders. There doesn't have to be a reason. They're just pieces of shit.
They just got a 15% tax cut, and they're still laying people off tight.
Yeah, their fiduciary responsibility is to shareholders. They're just like, let's cut a bunch of people, and then shareholders can have some Christmas profits.
Exactly.
Yay.
There's the downfall for working for a big corporation inside the United States, right?
Yeah, that's why Democrats push
when I say we need to incentivize corporations to do the right thing, we need to get rid of stock buybacks. This is the problem. What they are doing with stock buybacks, we need to incentivize corporations to do the right thing by their workers. They're not now, for sure. It's horrible.
It's a wild time for sure. I don't know, man. I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Biden and what happened underneath him, and I don't know. just to see Kamala had the lowest rating as a vice president since when, like 19. What was it?
Like if JD Vance had the lowest rating of any vice president at one point. JD Vance did. Like, and this is such a weird talking point. I've never heard people talk about ratings like this post-election, It's so weird, as if it's a political talking point. Like, this is so silly. Like, we just looked at the policies. We were like looking at like the economic policy and like the healthcare policy. Like, and when you just check the two websites, instead of having to watch every single Trump rally, you just look at the website. Trump literally just doesn't have a plan for any of these things written out. Nothing. Kamala had this huge 82-page plan for us. And like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
All of this stuff that we're trying to figure out, it's because he didn't write it down. All this stuff that we're doing, we look like crazy people because we're like, oh, this could be so bad. We have no idea to expect because he didn't write it down anywhere. We have no idea who to ask.
I guess I got, so just two last things. One, is it Felice? She brought up the Ukraine thing just a little bit ago. Are you backing, like, would you be backing the amount of money that's been sent to Ukraine or not so much?
I mean, it came from the military budget. Most of it's a loan. Like, I don't know if you understand. We're arms dealers. So we give people our old arms and then we fuel our own capitalistic industries by making more. It's a business deal for us. We're fueling our own economy. I don't know if you understand. We're the number one arms dealers in the world.
So
this is what we do.
We sent $40 billion to Ukraine in humanitarian aid and cash, and then we gave them just like a bunch of old shit, like rockets and like tanks, Abrams, like from the 80s, like things we would never bring into war. And like, it makes no sense. I show this to people. This is probably my 5th time bringing it up today. This is a military budget. When we sent money to Ukraine, did this go up? This number right here?
Oh, you'll have to tell me. I don't know.
No, it didn't. So it was just taken from our military budget, sent to Ukraine. If we never sent it to Ukraine, it would just stay right there, make more missiles. You would never see it. The economy was never affected by it. It's just a red herring. It's Putin telling you guys, hey, stop sending money to my adversaries.
So I just need to say this, like, the best offense is a good defense. Like, we can take a stand in Ukraine, or we can wait till it escalates and then we are boots on the ground because of our NATO commitments. Like, this is, and if you understand the global economy, because I really focus on how the global economy functions, right? Our economy it's not contained. It's so interesting to listen to Republicans just be like, who cares? America first. Let's just isolate. We can't. What happens in Europe affects our economy. If Europe goes to war, right? Ukraine's the breadbasket of Europe, right? Do you understand how the commodities markets move? They're all interconnected. If Europe's markets crash, our markets crash, our economy crash. It's the same with China. It's so funny to listen to Trump be like, oh, F China. If China fails, we fail.
Yeah, and if we fail, everyone
the global
fails.
It's don't think we're so special. We're just all it's all intertwined, right? And that's the truth. I mean, so that's why we have an interest in peace in Europe, because we have so many business interests there.
See, I've had this debate before where it's like, okay, I'm not saying don't send anything, no help whatsoever. My whole thing has been, we've seen drastic things happen here in the States. I mean, I always bring up the fact of Hawaii. I think that alone deserved much more money than what was given.
It got more money. Have you ever checked the news on that? Have you ever Googled that, bro? They're still sending money. They're still, to this day. I just looked it up.
MAGA talking points. You guys heard, everyone's only getting $750. That's not true.
It's some silly thing that I think, I don't know, it's misinformation, but the $750 is literally just free money. The fact that Republicans cry about that and want more is wild to me in all facets. Like, they don't want to
That's
be taxed.
free money for
They don't
medicine
want
and for
big government.
emergencies initially.
And
then you apply
they
for the
yell at
housing
people-
aid.
They yell at people for getting free money, yet they want more of it. They want more and more. That's
And you know,
communism or
if you
socialism,
care
right?
about money in the disaster relief fund, if that's what you care about, Smokey, who always votes against putting money? Who today? Literally right now today is trying to stop the disaster relief fund from being funded in real time?
Yeah.
I'll give you a hint.
Congress
It's not
people
the left.
from Florida.
No, it's Republicans.
It's Republicans.
Every single time it is the Republicans that vote against funding the disaster relief fund. They are doing it today. The government shuts down Friday if they don't pass a continued resolution, and they are fighting over the pittance of 100
100
million
million.
going into
It's
the
not
disaster.
even billion.
Going
It's
into
100 million.
nothing. Going into the disaster relief
It's
fund.
so small.
Imagine, remember when the floods happened recently in North Carolina? Remember when the 2 hurricanes hit? And what were Republicans saying? Oh, Biden's taking money out of the disaster relief fund. That's not true. Do you know who voted against funding the disaster relief fund? The same people that tried to tell you that it was Democrats. That's a progressive thing. We want to put money into the disaster relief fund. Republicans don't.
Like $1,400 a month or something.
Oh, it is
during
billion.
COVID.
It's billion. It's 100 billion. I'm sorry?
Weren't we getting like $1,400 a month?
Did I say million? I meant billion.
Yeah, I meant billion. I kept saying million. So, like, there were, 3 checks that were sent out, and that's about it. Like, some people got PPP loans. Actually, a lot of people, Republicans in Congress, notoriously, Marjorie Taylor Greene got like $10 million in PPP loans and then forgave herself.
It's like 200,000.
It's 200,000?
Yeah, it's not. It's like 200,000.
Someone's crazy. Someone went ham with like 10 million. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, a lot of Republicans in Congress did it. But I don't know. Yeah, people took advantage of that. That was a one-time thing. I don't know. Like, notoriously, Republicans are the states that haven't figured out their economy yet. So, like, they can't keep their lights on at the end of the year. The federal government has to fund them every single year, every month. I don't know why Republicans are coming in and trying to tell us what to do with the budget. It's wild to me.
You probably meant Brett Favre. Brett Favre stole millions of dollars from poverty-stricken Mississippians.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just making a joke. Someone was talking about Tom Brady, and I was like, no, it's Brett Favre stealing from impoverished people in Mississippi because his D2 volleyball-playing daughter needed a new stadium.
Cold. Well, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, shit. I don't know. You guys are flipping me real quick. I don't know what's going to happen. This is wild. I don't know. It's crazy.
Just come back and talk to us sometime.
Well,
You're
you
a
guys
cool
are chill. I
guy.
appreciate that.
We enjoy this.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been on here where, I don't know, those hairy dude or whatever, those people are fucking crazy. Those dudes are tripping.
Yeah.
You guys are chill. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too.
All right. There's somebody in the comments.
Don't hate me, but I need to go to sleep. I'm so tired.
Okay,
and
no
I have to
worries,
do
no
an
worries.
outline for
I hope you have a good
tomorrow.
night.
Are you
Get some
coming
good
to?
sleep.
Are you coming tomorrow to
Yes.
the people? Guys, the People's Receipts. My live is tomorrow, 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern. Hopefully, Pickles will be there if he doesn't stay up too late. But otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Love you all. This is my favorite place to hang out when I'm not on my lives. Thank you guys for making this such a safe space and a fun environment for me. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. Bye.